Oh, hi, puppy. What's up? About to run to the store. Oh, yes, I do need something from the store, puppy. Thank you so much for asking. Could you get me some TP for my bunghole? Thank you. That would be great. I'm almost out of TP for my bunghole. Welcome in. Oh, hi, everybody. It's time to play some GORF again. GORF Part 2. No, you're the GORF. No, you're the GORF. Well, hope you're having a good, what is it, Tuesday, Wednesday? Hope it's getting warmer wherever you are, unless you're in the southern hemisphere, in which case I hope you cool off soon. But seriously. All right. Let's see here. Gorfin times 2. Let's see what we have pulled up still. Yeah, we still have the Commodore 64 pulled up for the GORF. Get back into that real quick, and then we'll look at the arcade and maybe a few more things. What's up, Shay? I was just talking about the Southern Hemisphere. Happy, what's going on your Tuesday, Wednesday? What's going on? Is it hot? I heard some parts of Australia are pretty hot, which is just the opposite of what we got going on here in the southern part of the United States, or the East Coast mostly, I think. Or maybe even through the whole center of the country, really. It's cold, I say. Puppy can confirm. Icy cold, tons of snow here in the New York City. Get out of that Dagobah and get me some TP for my bunghole, man. Are you in the city? Yeah, you're in the city, aren't you? Yeah. I heard a message, but Botrix did not give me any information. So let's get this pulled up. Twitchy. Jay says, we're cooler than Aussie. Very good. Parts of the country just had a lot of flooding. Oh, no. That's the worst. I hate to hear that. Bad weather all around. Philly says, did you hear that another storm is coming for you guys down south this weekend? I'll tell you what. I know it is cold. It is too darn cold for this southerner. I didn't sign up for this. I signed up for humidity. When I was asked, hey, what weather do you prefer? Something cool or something humid? And I said, give me the humid. And guess what I got lots of? But not this week. So Philly, want some snow? Says Philly over on YouTube. You have a foot of it? Yikes. A foot of snow. I can't tell you the last time I saw a foot of snow in my area. Now, my dad used to live in New Hampshire when I was a teenager for a while. And I'd go up there and visit him. And that was the most snow and the most north that I'd ever been. And I swore right then, an oath, father, I would never return. Just kidding. I loved it. It was great. We don't know where to put it, right? The problem, of course, with living in a place that doesn't get snow that often is we're not equipped. We got like 4 snowplows. I think we have a few more, but still, not much more. Not much more. I've had my volume on my headphones for so long, so many years, that I don't know how to not reach up with this, looking for a phantom knob. You're a phantom knob. We should post this on social media so that people will know to come out and hang out with us tonight. By the way, if you haven't done it already, I see at least Philly over there. At least the Philly is over on the YouTube, and you don't have to go to YouTube now, but maybe if you think about it later, I turned on the community. That's what the button said on YouTube. YouTube said, press this button to turn on community. And I'm like, well, I would love to turn on the community. I would love to do that. So now it's available. So in addition to posts that I post in my YouTube feed, if you ever go to YouTube and look for me, The Brian Dunaway on YouTube, is there the in the front of that, you will see that. So here, wait, let's look real quick. So like there, the bottom, your side would be the bottom right-hand side, right? No, left-hand side. We're not in the mirror. YouTube.com. The Brian Dunaway is my site. I think if you go to youtube.com /@ The Brian Dunaway and then do another / in community, you'll end up on the community page. Why am I telling you that? Why don't I just paste it in the stupid chat room? I don't know. Philly Codehound, that is absolutely your priority. If you're your priority, you can make it your priority too, but it's your prerogative. I was trying to channel my inner Bobby Brown. It's your prerogative. Houdini7 is here. What's up? Are you turned on Houdini7? I think I did see you pop something in there, right? Say it as Joe says, how'd you know my college nickname? Yeah, what was it? Phantom Knob? Phantom Knob is a great nickname. Maybe I should put that somewhere so I don't forget it. Like a great idea. Phantom Knob. All right, got that one. We got the X. I don't know why I post the X. I'll be honest with you. When we do these streams, I look at the analytics on Twitch to try to see what effect, if any, my posting to social media is impacting our viewership. I don't know if it does anything, because on Twitch, when I look, there is a Twitter stat, but then there's like 80% comes from other, and I'm like, what is other? Do you just not know what, Blue Sky is, or Mastodon, or Threads? Is that the problem? So I don't know what social media does for us, to be honest with you. I don't know. Say it isn't Joe. This is a game I never heard of. That's rare entry. So you never heard of GORF. That is great. I am so glad to know that. And I bet you probably never heard that GORF is frog spelled backwards, which is the first thing most people will tell you. Oh, Puppy says, it's nice over here, too. It's nice. It's nice. But yeah, this Say It Isn't Joe is a game that was originally an arcade in '81, and it was part of those single-screen shooters, those space shooters we had, like Space Invaders. Midway had the distribution rights in America for Space Invaders. That was a Taito game in Japan, and for some reason, I guess they thought that also gave them the license to allow someone to create a straight-up clone screen and then throw in a couple like Galaxia, Galaga, the second Galaga, right? Anyway. Say it as Joe says, all I thought of was Dorf on Golf from the 80s. Yeah, Dorf on Golf. I actually got fed a Dorf on Golf TikTok video today, and I'm like, is the algorithm not knowing what to do with my recent surge of using the word GORF? I don't know. Yeah, Philly Cold Hands, it's just making up words. We just make up words over here. You used to make puppies. I used to play bass for Phantom Knob. Oh, did you guys see the Silver Sessions with Helmet? Oh, dude. I loved Helmet growing up. Saw them in concert along with Rush, I believe. Was it Rush that was there? Such a weird combo. But Rush the band and Helmet the band. What's it called? Silver Sessions, I believe, on YouTube. One of my friends sent it to me. And man, oh man, was that a nice throwback. I think they have a new album coming out or something, I think. So I'm pretty excited. Helmet. Like you would think it'd be spelled, right? Helmut. Say it isn't Joe says, oh, I thought, okay, I'm sorry. Rush is the best band that ever existed, so that makes it automatically a good show. This is a fact. This is a fact, Tom Sawyer. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I've got to see some really great concerts in my life, and that was one kind of a small intimate kind of session. So that was nice. That was nice. But I knew about Helmet, but then seeing them live, yeah, that just threw it over the top for me. I'm like, all right, now I'm full-on Helmet fan. Helmet. But they still got it, man. They still sound good. Still sound good. Rocking it out. Yeah, I need better stats to see on Twitch and YouTube how these social media posts. I spend a pretty good bit of time trying to craft these and go to each one of the stupid services. All right, there. I am done with you, social media. You are closed. You have been dismissed. You have been dismissed. All right, so what we're doing tonight? We're gonna catch a part 2 of GORF. GORF I played. I played GORF on my Commodore VIC-20, and then I continued that love on the Commodore 64. I never had the voice synthesis cart though. There's a way that you can do that, and I did not. So you can get the audio. So one of the cool things about the arcade version of GORF is that digitized speech, which is way cool because they harass you. The Gorfians, Meatball there, the Gorfian harasses you. So we are playing this on our Commodore 64 Ultimate. We're playing it right there. Let me get that up just a little bit. There we go. Starlight Edition. Yeah, we got in around Christmas time. And we're using this Atari 2600 joystick that came with one of my Atari systems. This is wireless. It uses a little dongle that plugs into the 9-pin port of the Commodore. And we're off to the races. And unceremoniously, just like that, we just start shooting some Gorfians. Obviously looks like Space Invaders, but not quite. Original Space Invaders. Had 50 plus little munchers in the sky. Munchers in the sky. This I think only has like 24, about half. Not maybe a little more than half. And then this, oh boy. Gotta kill the Nerf darts here. There's 5 stages. Or 5 missions, I believe is what they call them. At the arcade. Here at home, they got rid of the Galaxians. Or the Galaxian screen. Thunderbirds. Oh, I pooped it out. Joe says I saw Rush 3 times. Each time was amazing. Rip Neil. Yep. Agreed. Oh, Neil Peart. Of course, we lost. Wait, am I losing my mind? Okay, so I'm doing like a million things at once. So correct me. Getty, did Getty die? Did Getty Lee die? Now, you try doing a stream and playing a game and reminiscing about Rush. Now nothing seems real. I know Neil Peart passed. But trying to remember if Geddy Lee also passed it. Why does it feel like that's true? I don't want to spread rumors if that's not true. Geddy Lee's watching right now going, what the F, dude? Or he's actually Canadian. What the F, dude? Gets a little higher, right? Geddy and Alex are still doing the thing. Actually touring one last time. Okay. All right, good. I kind of thought I remember them touring, but I was trying to remember if they replaced Geddy. I don't know how you would, but I think I was confusing that with the many other bands of my childhood who have replaced lead singers along the way, who seem to be the most prone to death, right? Joe says they have a replacement drummer, but it's more of a tribute, so that's, yeah, I like that. No, not new songs, right? It's just they're doing the Rush's greatest hits, which isn't that. Well, I mean, what with a legend like Neil Peart, in some bands you might be like, okay, yeah, we've traded out, drummers, and that happens, or maybe go on tour and one of the drummers is down or something. That happens, right? But with Neil Peart, man, how do you emulate that? That drum set alone is just unwieldy. I'm curious if they are using the same type of setup that Neil had, because he had a crazy drum set. At least on tour, he would always have a crazy one on tour. He may not have done that in the studio, even though I suspect he probably did. That's some big shoes to fill. That is some big shoes to fill. All right, we beat EMC and CBM. Commodore Business Machine, right? That's CBM. Clever. I think isn't there, like, I believe someone said that there is an Easter egg. Oh, really? It failed. Okay, why did that happen? Oh, that's interesting. Now let's turn it off and turn it back on again. What do you think about that? I'm shoving it. Let's reboot it. TV's Travis, what's going on? Wednesday tomorrow. You're dropping the mad science tomorrow, right? That's what you do. Time to drop that next episode of Wait. What? Discordia, what's going on? You made it. You was deep in House Flipper 2. I haven't played that. That sim is so addicting. I have not played that, Discordia. What's going on? You were just in time. We didn't start until 6:30. That's our typical time. I did spend some family time last night. Audra's been, by the way, you guys have been super great. The community has been great. Audra, just an update. Audra's been taking care of her mom, and last night she got to come home. Audra did, from her mom's house for a little bit, because the kids were kind enough to stay out there last night with Grandma, who had knee surgery recently, and she's doing all right, but she does need some assistance. So yeah, Granny's doing. But Audrey did get to come home last night, and I said, well, shoot, we haven't seen each other a lot lately, and so let's just spend a little time together. So I appreciate you guys and your understanding on a little family time during our usual stream on Monday nights at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. But we are back tonight, and we're playing some more GORF ass. It says GORF 1983 Commodore H. Hass. It says Hass. TV Travis, I saw that you were doing Street Fighter this week. We peeked in on you on our stream on Sunday, and we saw you guys were already in talks about the movie. And I recommended people go check it out, or check out the podcast. Discordia says, hope Nana has been doing well. She's getting there. Yeah, the knee replacement surgery is a doozy. It's a bad one. Oh yeah, Discordia. I'm glad I could be back too as well. Come hang out. I needed the downtime. So I've got two files here. I've got a tape file of GORF. You know that because the extension is T64, and it's only 14K. And then we got one here, this a D64, and that's like your disk, right? Your floppy disk or cart. Maybe it's the cart. Maybe that is because you don't want to say C64. That would be confusing. Oh, Dan Enderton is here. What is up? We were playing the 171K version. Let's just see how broken the tape is. Would you guys like to load the tape, or you do want to we'll just run it? It's got GORF Plus. Okay, so this is GORF Plus, is what it says. I don't know what that means. Let's run it. It says GORF Plus. Okay. Dan Ender, how is your Tuesday, Wednesday going? How's it going? Push the joystick button. Push it. Push it. What else we're gonna do? Why were we doing this? EMC, Commodore Business Machines, and MJ. Oh, I know it was. We were going to see if the. Oh, what is it? I don't. There's like a Easter egg where you can show the credits, but I don't know. This one looks a little hacky. Not too shabby, said Dan Enderton. Discordia says, "Oh my God, that window looked like my old Atari 600 XL window when it would boot up." Yep, that's right. Going into a little bit of it was common, man. Microsoft was licensing out their Microsoft Basic to different companies. So the 600 XL, did it have Basic or loaded up on it, like on a ROM chip like the Commodore 64, or did you have to load it up on a cart? Yeah, the Basic prompt. Okay, yeah. The one thing noticeably missing from the Commodore 64 version of GORF is the star field. No sparkly stars for our Commodore 64. Also, no voice work here. Now, I'm noticing the audio's a little bit compressed, maybe? And so I just ran into that, didn't I? So this is the tape version. Yeah. See? Yeah, see? Oh, don't. I about took it. Yeah, so the 600 XL did boot straight to the basic prompt. Very good. Oh, guys, I am so excited. One of my friends notified me that another a mutual friend of ours, which I kind of knew already, but I had not looked lately, is running an auction site, right? And they have a TRS-80 up for bid, and it includes an original. It's untested, but it includes the system, and it also includes. Let's see. Listen to the audio. It also includes the TRS-80 monitor, the Radio Shack TRS monitor. Yes, 80 monitor. I couldn't say it. So I'm curious. We got about 4 days to wait on, see if it's gonna auction off for a decent, reasonable price. So we'll see. I would like to have that. Shay says, I haven't seen a TRS outside of a museum in decades. Now, I do have a TRS-80. I just do not have a monitor. Also has some cassette tapes, and I was trying to remember, because the auction one has a monitor, it has the system, and it has 3 cassette tapes, and it comes with some manuals, I think even some basic programming manuals. And I think, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I want to say that I have the tape drive in with my TRS-80 that I have now, which is also untested. I need to... My best chance of having a complete system is if I can win this auction. What's up, September? What is going on, my friend? Hope you're having a good one. Thank you for all the well wishes. Whee! Hey, it's Tex. What's going on, Tex? Did you watch some football on Sunday? Oh, September's also talking about some football. Great time watching you cook. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, having fun with that. How was, speaking of cook, you got that little, you had that little announcement thing you had on the morning stream, right? You got that new, is it going to be a podcast or is it going to be a video? A little bit of both? I know you got a cooking thing coming up, right? Tex watch football? Of course Tex watch football. Tight competition. Oh, did you see that? Boy, I almost died. That's it, the competition. You won by 1. Oh my gosh, congratulations. That is awesome. Winning. Oh, whew. Boy, that was tight. Yeah, well, Sunday next round is February the 8th. Oh, that's pretty soon. That's not too far from now. And we'll just about maybe have Granny on. Man, I hope she's on at least a cane by then, but we'll have to see. She's going through physical therapy and everything. But by about that time, my stepdad has to go in for also a complete knee replacement. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. He's not the best at communicating everything, though, so he keeps telling me it's a complete knee replacement. I'm like, so you're sure it's a complete knee replacement? Because there's a big difference in recovery time between a partial knee replacement and a full. Oh, you even played a little bit of football yourself, Tex? That is awesome. Oh, Discordius is telling September about some spice blend she sent for popcorn. Ooh, Whirly Pop is so good. Whirly Pop. Yeah. That's a question why question is what it was. All right. What are we doing on time? So speaking of a basic, we got an ad coming up on Twitch, and also YouTube has been kind of pushing me. I'm getting to a growth level on YouTube that they're pushing me to do the mid-roll ads or choose an ad time. I have not monetized any of my videos on YouTube, but they're, like I said, every time I show up, it's like a little bit more. They're like, they keep encouraging me, and like at some point I'm like, are y'all just gonna make me do it one day? T.S. Travis says my YouTube channel's completely stalled on subscriptions and views lately. I kind of been hearing that. Mine hasn't stalled. It's actually about what it has been, which, you know, is not that much different than. It's probably a little less growth than I have here on Twitch. But it's growing. It's growing. But like I said, very slow. I guess it's according to what you're used to seeing. If your numbers are really good, TV's Travis, and all of a sudden they're just as puny as my everyday. You know. Oh, did you see that? The first shot I laid out was a kill shot. Boom! Look at that. That was amazeballs. And now I went from Space Cadet to Space Captain. TV Travis, oh no, I'm well below where you are. Hey, I understand. I actually unlocked some pretty good growth numbers wise on like people looking at my videos, and even some increase in number of subscribes, and but disproportionately the new people that were coming in we're all more thumbs down happy on videos and more prone to shit posting in my comments. So I was like, so I was getting some, like I said, I found some ways that was doubling my numbers, which weren't much to begin with, but it was doubling it, which is pretty impressive. But it felt like it was tripling and quadrupling the number of meanies showing up. And I was like, I don't know. Do I want to keep getting meanies? So I kind of put the brakes on it for a minute and said, let me just see. I'm like, just let me see for a minute. You don't know. You know? Because, I mean, and I enjoy our typically my average views for a live event like this on Twitch is between 20 to 30 viewers. So that's where we usually cook. Most nights we'll get raids and they'll be larger sometimes. And I know ways that I could increase those numbers, and I've done it in the past. And it never fails that once I get over a certain point, I just get a greater percentage of people that I don't want around. So it's kind of like seeing that it's not it's kind of a jerk ceiling is what I'm going to call it. It's like get to a certain place and I'm like, I don't know if I want to grow the community much further. I mean, we got people we love and they already support me. And I'm like, and I've got a day job and this is great. And the amount of the amount of support we get now gives us all kinds of opportunities to buy retro stuff and do cool stuff and feels pretty comfy right here. Feels if I got my friends here, I don't feel alone if I got my friends hanging out. You know what I mean? Yeah, Travis, that's part of your problem. I don't want a day job anymore. I've worked so long at my day job, and Eclectic Gamer, what is up? I hope you can see this. I don't know if you got a sub or not. Maybe in the ad because we're in an ad break now. But yeah, I make good. I've been programming and doing security and all these computer related fields for so long that it'd be hard to match that. What up, Mac? What's going on, my friend? Welcome in. Just rated in. Welcome in. I hope you guys aren't getting the ad. I think since we have pre-roll, I don't know if you guys will be seeing that or not. The G-Funk is here. It's a Mac raid. What's up? What is going on? We're going to give it just we're going to give it like a minute and a half before we do our proper introductions. But I will say, hi, I'm Brian, and I play retro video games. And Mac, welcome in. Crew and community, welcome in. I hope you're having a good Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, wherever in the world you are. We're looking at GORF on the Commodore 64, and we're going to be looking at the arcade version as well. But we'll get a proper introduction here just in a minute. Right now, I am playing on my Commodore 64 Ultimate, which has arrived around Christmas in 2025, and I'm finally getting around to playing around with it. So pretty excited. Grew up with the Commodore 64. And once again, I don't even know if you guys are even seeing this because you guys might be in the middle of an ad because the ad break started. It's not supposed to do that, but I don't know. Big Dehor, what's going on, my friend? Mac Raid, Taz is here. Oh, not September says I went ahead and did Turbo, so can't tell you. Yeah, there you go. G-Funk says had 1 5-second ad and pop up, but gone now. Yes, G-Funk. What was Mac? Is it Mac? I don't know if you're still around, if you're hanging around or not. If you had to run off and grab some food, that's typically when I leave my raids. When I drop a raid on somebody, I'm like, bye. I gotta eat. I love you. I'll watch the VOD. Dr. De Niro. What? Okay, let's see what we got here. We got some with Discordia just gave out 5. If you don't know Discordia, now you do. Discordia just gave out 5 community subs. Thank you, Discordia, for bringing in is bringing in some of these other community members in right. So now you don't have to watch ad regardless. But enjoy, Jester Dev. Thank you, Joe and Dr. Nero. You guys both should see ad free for the rest of the month. Yeah. GORF. I'm going to try to say your name and not butcher it. Is it Sac? Anakeo? I'm not even close. Where do I need to separate it? Sakana, KO. Is it reference to a video game? Mac, what is up? Yes. You look different. Have you changed the beard? No, I don't think it. Now it's probably, I might have been wearing my hair down when we were doing that. Plus also, I've got so much Commodore blue going on right now. I made it look like a Smurf. Mac, what is up? Welcome in, community. I am Brian Dunaway, and we're playing some GORF, which I grew up on with the Commodore 64. And we're looking at this and the arcade. I do a once-a-week podcast called The Play Retro Show with Scott Johnson. And, hey, we like talking about arcades. Scott grew up, his dad owned an arcade business where he distributed arcade machines, and Scott always had those around, has tons of stories, and he's supposed to have some really good ones this week for GORF. I'm just a computer nerd who's along for the ride. Any way you want to say it. So I'm going to say Sakana. How about that? I'm Southern. If I don't say it like that, how would you know I'm not from the southern parts of the United States? Come on. Sock on a cow. Okay, I like that. But for people to ask, made this picture of a sock on a cow. Is that how you say it? Sock on a cow? I love that. Sock on a cow. I like that. I'm going to call you Sock on. Sock on. Right? The soft Commodore 64 blue glow. So are you guys Commodore 64 fans? And we need to give a shout out to Mac for that raid. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for sharing your community with us. We do appreciate that. And let me see here. And I think I'm following you already, but I will double check myself. What were you guys playing? Sack and a cow. I love that. That is great. Sometimes I'm still debating on if I like Frosty Tools or not. I'm gonna have to go in and do some. I'm gonna have to go in and do some adjusting. But hey, why not? It says I've heard of them. A real enigma wrapped in a vinyl record. Like vinyl records. They say they're big chillin', but I caught a whiff of something else in their stream titles. Army Men, ooh, Age of Empires, a classic, one of my favorite games of all time, Age of Empires. Vinyl Goddess from Mars, what's their game, you ask? Maybe they're just a retro junkie, or maybe, just maybe, they're up to something more. Something DOS good. We had a great time in Dawsember, by the way. You're doing some DOS platformers. Very good. Finished the first episode of Vinyl Goddess from Mars. I haven't played that one. I'll have to check that one out. Vinyl Goddess from Mars from 1995. Oh, some little late DOS platforming. Very good. I got to check that out. How are you guys playing your DOS games? I like the AO46 project on the Mr. FPGA, but I do other things. But that's the easy way for me. Sock on a cow. Oh yeah. Thank you for the follow, Sock on a cow. Very good. And all right, so what we're doing here, we got this. We got our Commodore Ultimate. We're loading up from our USB, right? And we are playing some GORF here. We added this one. We tried the tape image we had. And now we're going back to the disk image we have. And I've ordered GORF from eBay for the VIC-20, which I also have a real version of that. And that was the one I grew up with as well. And I'm looking forward to getting it. I was hoping to have it before this week, but then the weather hit. So, what you gonna do? Eclectic Gamer says, talking retro stuff, are you planning to get the C12? Yes, I am I do want to get the A1200, that Amiga thing from, was it Retro Games? Is that the name of their company, I think? Is it Retro Games? And and I already have the Spectrum, which is the Specky that you would see with the little rubber it's full keyboard for that. It's small. I've got the mini Commodore 64. I've got the maxi Commodore 64. So yeah, I would love to get the 1200. Would be amazing. But I don't know if I started looking and I didn't see where I could order it just yet because we got all these tariffs going on and stuff. So Discordia says, man, that screen makes me remember how old my Atari smelled. Also, by the way, I love real retro tech. I don't only do real old retro tech, but I do like my CRTs and my consoles, and I like seeing if I can make them work again. Yes, Daedalus, it is Ass Presents GORF. A lot of these games, when they rented these games at the game rental stores, right, they would have copyright protection on them, and they would crack them, and they would put what they call trainers on them. I don't know if you remember that or not, Daedalus, but yes, solid gold there. You had hacker groups, essentially. They would have their own little intros, and it's always a good time. But they would make it seem all right by going, hey, we're just doing some trainers, see? We're just doing trainers. We're not doing nothing. We just a bunch of good guys. We just want people to be able to cheat a little bit in the video game. We just want to give them a leg up. Hopefully they own the original source. Like you do. I do love me some retro tech, Discordia. You know I do. This last guy's fast. Originally a movie tie-in, this game was. Star Trek the Motion Picture, they said. Which I thought I had on VHS. Yes, VHS is a superior format. Kidding, of course. But it is a nostalgic format that I find appropriate for certain materials. And I do like watching my Star Trek movies, even though it's not the best format. I do like watching them on the VHS because that's how I mostly remember watching them. Game Tracks, how'd you sneak in here? What's going on, Game Tracks? We got to give Game Tracks a shout out here in just a minute. Welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're having a good Tuesday, Wednesday, wherever in the world you are. Let me put my name up in here and we'll get a shout out to Game Tracks. And like I said, if you haven't followed Mac, do it. What are you waiting on? What's your problem? Because I follow Mac. Let me double check. Yep, I sure do. I already do. Very good. Very good. And also follow Game Tracks. So do it. Game Tracks says, I'm super sneaky. So what have you been doing lately? Anything fun? Any Game Tracks out there? Dallas says, I think I still have my VHS player. I'm scared to hook it up to my big TV. Every time I get a new TV, I try to make sure they at least have coax and composite. And lately it seems like they always come in this like almost like a mini plug for headphones or something, and that goes to composite. Yeah, it is Game Tracks, right? Yeah, that's right. All right, not Game Track, singular. Oh no, I got a cooldown on my shoutouts. That's not cool. Yeah, always jamming those Game Tracks. Been into the remixes lately? That's great. Tass says I went down a retro camera eBay rabbit hole the other day. I didn't get one, but it's tempting. Which kind of camera was like a still camera or a video camera? I picked up a Canon video camera a while back. Oh yeah, absolutely. Always love to do shout outs for our fellow retro streamers and other people too, but you know, we try to stay on brand here. One day we'll form a large community of retro gamers and take over the world. I'm gonna head back to the arcade here in a minute. I was kind of disappointed that I was not able to get my CH Flight Stick Pro working for the arcade version of this game. It was the most similar to the original controller that I had on hand, but the pots seem to either be either to have worn out or could possibly be clean, but I doubt that because these are like closed in pots for the most part, and it looked pretty clean in there when I opened it. I mean, I had a single hit earlier, and I killed it just right away, one shot. This ship is ingrained into my head, by the way. Me. Yeah, shoot the flying wine bottle, says Dallas. That color, though. That color is just so amazing. Thank you, Rena-Killer. Welcome in. Oh, hi, Rena-Killer. Thank you for the sub. Hope you're enjoying your Tuesday, Wednesday. That's the way it's supposed to hit. Wherever you are. All right, we've been playing this on our Commodore 64 Ultimate with our Atari wireless controller. Because it's good, because this Mr. They're not a Mister, excuse me. This Commodore has an FPGA inside, and it uses the old 9-pin joystick port, right? And so that's perfect. Let's switch over to our Mister. Speaking of which, and we'll hit just a little bit of the original arcade so we can get some of that sweet audio, that digitized voice. Oh yeah, Discordia, yeah. Those strobe effects, it can be bad. I keep forgetting to put like a warning for this one, because I'm not that good, so it doesn't happen that often. But then I forget. Yeah, even made your brain feel funny. Dallas says, "What is the MS-05 at the bottom of the screen?" That's mission. So which is odd because I meant to look. Because the MS stands for mission. It's supposed to be 5 missions, and there are 5 missions in the arcade version, but one of them's Galaxian's clone. And they cut those out on the home versions. So that's a good question. That is I meant to look. I think it's mission 3 at the arcade is the one they cut out for the home computers. And this is our Mr. FPGA screen here. Look at that old Commodore. Man, I would love to have a 1084 monitor. I've had some on watch a bunch of times, and I've just never can pull the trigger because first of all, it's really expensive for shipping for those things. They're really heavy. Send it through freight and stuff, I suppose. I found some that were kind of closer, but I really like to get a chance to actually take a look at it. Like physically. So I've been hoping maybe I'll just I'll be at the right place, right time, and it'll just hit. What am I looking for? GORF. Jeez. I went the wrong way. Jeez. I went from the bottom. You're supposed to like split that in half, Brian. All right. You went for the wrong side. Gravatar. GORF. We are playing this with our Mark II, I believe, flight control stick on our Mister, because we've already set it up. I think the Mister's a little quieter, so I'm going to crank it up just a little bit. Commodore 64 is a little loud. I've mapped my buttons to my coin drops. I used to play this at the arcade, Aladdin's Castle. I mean to get those tokens out too, so we could drop a few tokens. Out of respect, we could drop a few tokens on the desk We'll see if I get to that on the next ad. All right. If you only insert one coin, the way this is done with the dip switches, well, one coin, it takes 2 credits. I could flip that to 1 credit. There we go, coinage. We could flip that to that. All right. But we have to reset it, right? All right. Let's save it. Our settings. Oh, no. No, dummy. Now I saved the settings. Now we do a reset. And let's get the screen pulled back up. How many games are on my Mistress's game tracks? Well, it was preloaded by the individual who sent it to me. So I don't know. That's a good question. It's a really good question. But we've changed over. We hit our dip switches, and we changed it over to 1 credit per coin. And so now when did I not reset it? Reset it? Oh, it doesn't completely reset. That is interesting. Is there a dip switch for resetting? Reset to apply. Okay. No, it doesn't. Okay, well, I guess that's just... We'll have to okay, so, all right, so credit is 2 ships. So typically you would drop 1 coin, right? And you would get 2 ships down there, 2 lives, essentially. If you dropped an additional coin or coins, then you would have the option. This was kind of unique to GORF. You would have the option for having 4 ships as a single player, or playing 2-player, take turns, and each of you have 2 ships. So no additional coin would change anything from that point. At that point, you can add more coins, but it won't add any lives or players beyond that. I don't even think you could do 2-player with... I don't think you could... Well, let's just add. Let's find out. Can we do... Push a player button. All right, so you can. Okay, so if you... I kind of told a fib there. Okay, so if you do add up to 4 coins or whatever gets you 4 credits, you'll get 8 ships splitting between the 2. And that's, I think, as far as it goes. Yeah, after that, you're just you're just putting more money in, sucker. All right. Yeah, I love the voice thing. It's so cool. All right. Let me put this controller down or this keyboard down because this is a 2-handed job here. The Wraith, what is up? Oh, Taz, yeah. So that's a great. What a jerk. What yeah, these Gorvians are just the biggest jerks. Taz wants to know, is there another Sega racing game lined up for the sick wheel that I just picked up off eBay? There is not lined up currently, but there will be once to get that thing in. Hondo is here as well. What is up, Hondo and the Wraith? Welcome in. I love this game at the arcade. It was one of my favorites. Like I said, it had that Tron controller, which is one of my favorites. It's just a big translucent. Was it translucent back in the day? I might be thinking of how it looks, the one I was looking at. But it was just a big stick with usually just had one button. I think, was it this button or was it this button? Might have been one or the other. Anyway, it used the same stick. It was a big, I'll show it to you. I'm not doing it justice. All right. So, all right. Let's start this again. This time let's pay attention. You know what? I just realized this first screen at the arcade does not have a star field. But these are very obviously the same looking spaceships you would have seen in Space Invaders, just fewer. Discovery says, what? No Starfield? Well, that's crap. Oh, my coin's back. Where's the attendant? You will meet a Gorfian Doom Space Cadet. And by the way, the GORF is that big meatball looking thing, right? See the starfield? Oh, that's right. It was, yeah, it was for the Saturn test. Destruction Derby. Look at our Galaxians, right? Is it a complete theft of Galaxian? I think since they called it Galaxians, I would say probably so.
Bad move, Space Cadet.
Bad move, Space Cadet. Oh, you guys didn't remind me to bring up the bezel. Did you just say something about... Sounded like some bad word he just said.
Too bad, Space Cadet. All hail the Supreme Gorfian Empire.
All hail the Supreme Gorfian Empire. Did you guys get that? Taz says that wheel for the Sega Saturn. Might I suggest? Dead Truction Derby. But I know you meant destruction. Dadless yet unapologetic. The race says with a blue background, maybe it's under the sea. Under the sea. We stole your video game and now you're crying. Under the sea. Discordy Dog says Space Armada, the Intellivision version of Space Invaders, use such similar graphics too for those row of alien invaders. There was we don't realize how big Space Invaders was. I mean, we had arcades popping up in Japan that were nothing but Space Invaders. Just a whole arcade full of Space Invaders. Nothing else. Just, we have so many people wanting to play Space Invaders. There's a whole room full of just Space Invaders, which would, God, that would be so annoying. Because the noise would just be the noise. I wonder if I can replicate that. I bet I can. I mean, it might, wonder how cool. I bet you when the attendants first turned everything on, all the Space Invaders were probably in sync, right? I wonder how much drift there was in the calculations between the quality of each of the boards. Like, as the day went along, would you start to get Space Invaders? And of course, as people play them too, they'll be left at different spots. Oh my God, I bet it was crazy. I bet it was insane. I wonder if we can emulate that. All right, let's see here. All right. Oh, I said I was going to bring up the bezels. You guys are terrible at reminding me of stuff. I kid. Boom, there we go. Now we're talking. Look at that. And yes, this is what the bezel looked like. If you went to the arcade, it would look like this. But the cool thing was the rank. You didn't see ranks on arcade games, right? You didn't have progression typically in arcade games. You just had increase in difficulty. But this gives you a rank. You would usually have a high score, was like the big thing, right? But you would also have a score here as well for high score, and two different ranks in two different categories. Whether or not you spent two credits worth or 1 credit worth, you would have a different possible high score. And then there would be lights behind these space ranks that would light up. The first time you finish the first 5 missions, you would be you go from Space Cadet to Space Captain and so on until you become a Space Avenger, and then you could snap Thanos away. Think about that. That's a great idea. All right, let's see here. We don't need to sort points. I'm going to talk less and let the Gorfian talk so you guys can get some flavor. Maybe tell me what he's saying. Because he's going to smack talk me here in a minute. Chicken arms up and down. Oh my! Oh.
Bad move, Space Cadet.
What'd he say? Do you know? What was that one? There was 2. Can you tell me what they said?
Space Cadet.
I know what that one was. Ha 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 ha. That's it, the score. You know, I think you got it. Oh no!
Right, Space Cadet Orpheus Tiger Galaxy.
Something about Galaxy. Did you hear something about Galaxy at the end there? Oh, Zoe brings the bacon. What's up? Oh, hi, Zoe. How you doing? Why, it's got to be almost tomorrow where you're at. Bite the dust, Space Cadet. Is that what he said, the Wraith? That is awesome. All right, we got one. Okay, so we got one more time. We can use our 4-ship, and then we'll drop down to just the 2-ship. Now that we're warmed up.
Prepare yourself for
half an hour on Wednesday.
Space Cadet.
No, we're on the arcade now. We're on our Mr. FPGA box, and we're using the GORF. The GORF core. GORF core.
Space Cadet.
Discordia, go get some food, man. It's Indian night. Yeah. Sounds delicioso. Here they come. I feel like my heart is beating in my ears. Oh, did you see that missile coming down from my face? Is that a Gorfian goon?
Space Cadet.
Good shooting, Tix. Woo, woo, woo. I got him. Yeah, take that. Oh man,
Space Cadet.
coming at me.
Empire.
I am the Gorfian Empire, something like that. Did it sound like eat poop? I think it did. All right, so now we're down to 2 credits. We can get ourselves on the other scoreboard now. We're not paying to play, man. We're not paying to win. Excuse me. So let's show these Gorfians.
Gorfians take your prisoners.
What we can do with 2. Somebody say something about this game was unique because it didn't follow patterns. And I'm like, well, this screen does. I mean, unless they're talking about the bomb dropping at the rate. Oh, see that little, I can zip across. Oh no!
Confused Space Cadet. Too bad, Space Cadet. Orpheus Tiger Galaxy.
I don't know what that said. Did you guys catch that? I did not. Oh, the ad. We've been in an ad break for at least a couple of minutes. Jeez. How long did we play that round? Oh man, I got Gorfians Conquer Another Galaxy. The Wraith, yes. That sounds on brand for some darn Gorfians. I wonder. I wonder. I want to try something. Got a color source. Let's call this yellow. And now you can't see me. Now you can't see me. I'm just a big old white starry field. Is your eyes bleeding? How about now? All right, there we go. 12 by 12. Where'd the block go? I made it. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so up in the corner. All right. Maybe I should have made it a different size. Let's see. Let's make it larger so I can actually move it around. I'm going to make it 48 by 48. All right. All right, there we go. Nice big chunky block. And I believe this bezel is perhaps transparent a little bit. There we go. We are a space cadet. What do you think about that? And I wonder if we can add a filter on here, do all this manual. Oh, the Ray says the IMDb has all the quotes. I bet you even if I saw all of it, I bet I still wouldn't. I bet I still couldn't probably recognize half of them, even if they were all there. Saturation up some. Do the gamma. That doesn't seem to really affect anything, but we can lower the opacity. Do that. Can we get rid of maybe the sharpness somewhere? Is there like a blur filter we could use? There may not be. But we could put a retro effect on it, right? Let's see. We can make it dance around. What do you think about making it dance around? How about some Matrix Rain? Oh, about that. That's pretty cool. Some NTSC there. Make it have a little glow to it, maybe. Yeah, that might be good. Hand size. What do we think about that? Think about that. We lit it up. September, yeah, it sounded like that. If not, it definitely sounded like that. Discoria says, food is here, gotta unpack it and plate it all up. I'm starving. Don't forget to bring us some. We want some Indian food too. Indian food. What's your favorite Indian food? What's your go-to plate when you get Indian food? I haven't had Indian food in a very long time because we don't really have an Indian food restaurant nearby that serves Indian food. So, ain't had a lot of luck with that lately. Let's see here. We got that. Let's try a different effect. How about an analog glitch? Will that show through a little better? Yeah, that's good. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Feels a little more light and glitchy, right? Bzz, 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 bzz. All right, so someone will have to remind me as we go through. And I'm curious too, the Wraith, when you were looking at the IMDb database, did it tell you, because I've never made it far enough on the arcade version. Arcade version's much more difficult than the Commodore 64 version. Does it change its taunt from Space Cadet? Because I get a lot of Space Cadet taunts, because that's all I've ever made it to. Do you also get Space Captain taunts? Palak paneer. I do like some paneer. That's good. Now I do get some. I do get some paneer type dishes and some masala too, from frozen foods that they have at Publix. But that's about the best I usually can do. But that's just not bad. Discoria says, I think I got enough for all. Palak paneer. I don't know how to say some of these other ones. Aloo gobi. So many. I wish I had a good
Long live
Indian restaurant
GORF.
around here. I actually don't wish that because I would eat it. and then my belly would be upset because I'm not used to food with flavor. I'm not used to food with flavor. You can shoot the bullets. Is that true of all the bullets or just some of the bullets? I don't think you can in the Commodore version, though. I could be wrong.
Your cross near space cadet.
Eee. Stupid Gorkian Empire always trying to ruin my life. I like these shields a lot better than the Space Invader shields. I kind of hate the Space Invader shields. Yeah, conquer another galaxy. You're right. That's what it was.
Long live GORF.
Is that Birani? Birani? Is it Birani? Where do you put the emphasis on that? So why did you give it to me like sock cow?
Robot warriors seek and destroy the space cadet.
Seek and destroy the space cadet. Got him. I'm not gonna lie, I mostly sit on this left-hand side of the screen and blow them up because it's the easiest way to do it. I don't know how it is when you get further along. You can kind of pick them off where they get a chance to go down a row. You're better off because things start getting fast. Now, in the original Space Invaders, the ships got faster because you weren't rendering 50-something ships. I don't know if they artificially... Yeah, ha ha ha, you cheater. Oh.
Galactic Defender, you are space cadet.
How long? You get some slow down here, but I'm not sure if that is just the core or if that was true with the arcade. Man, they are vicious. These Gorfians are vicious. Maybe if I start higher. Ooh. Oh, man. Before Tegro's about time you got here. Fortegro says, sorry, you're never late. You're just like a wizard. I have to cover and uncover the plants every day. Oh, man, I know that feeling. I have to feed and water the animals every day. Jeez. Every day? Every day? Come on. Taz wants to know, how long do you think you and Scott could do the GORF episode with that voice modulator on? 2 minutes? Less. Less. Way less.
Long live GORF.
Dallas says, those aren't animals, Brian. Those are your kids. They can feed them on. They can feed
Robot
themselves.
warriors seek and destroy the space cadet.
Ooh. I can't seem to get past the Galaxians. Why do they call them the Gorfians or something? Why would they go as far as the Galaxians? Oh, you know what I'm just realizing? You know what I'm just realizing? This whole time I've been playing this game, I'm just now realizing I'm just now understanding the story that's told at the beginning, because it doesn't make any sense at the story at the beginning of this game. And I'm just now, I feel so stupid. I'm just now picking up on it. The reason why the first screen is blue is because you're on Earth, and the shield that is an arch is around the Earth. And then the second one, you're in a star field because you've left Earth. Why am I just now figuring that out? Wow, I'm thick. I'm thick. The dome of protection, baby. Where it says, welcome to Earth. Oh my gosh. So take us with you. Take us with you on your phone. Before Tank Girl says, my stray kitty slept on my patio most of last night. He totally avoided the shelter I made for him and slept on the rug. Yeah, this is same. We went out and got cedar shavings and nice little cat beds. We have 2 outdoor kitties that are kind of strays that we feed. And yeah, and what do? Totally ignore the nice. They just go lay wherever they want. And I'm like, you don't need us, do you? Dallas says I wouldn't have figured it out either. I don't know why. Why didn't I pick up on that sooner? I kept wondering, why is that first screen blue with no starfield? Did they run out of memory or something? Of course not. They're trying to tell a story. And then this is a space warp. So, I didn't get this story at all. So you're fighting back the invaders on Earth in the first screen. The second screen, you're going a little further out. That's mission 2. The third screen, you're going even further out than that. That's the Galaxians. And then you get into the space warp because you got to warp to their planet because they're so far away. And then when you get there, the protective dome flips, and not being a dome of protection for you, but being a dome protection of the final ship. All these years of playing GORF. Never knew that. Cribs Dion, what's up? How did I not figure that out? Zoe says I'll be back to typing after I've cleaned my teeth. And Phil, you mean your exposed skeleton you keep in your mouth? That's all your teeth are. Some exposed skeleton in your mouth. Fill that hot water bottle. Gotta scrub the skeleton. Put some foam for cushion and everything. Yeah, that's right. Poor Tank Girl. Put some foam out there for them cats and everything. What'd they do? I like the cold, hard ground with the sticks and the rocks. Yeah, they do like the cardboard box now. You gotta think like an astronaut, poor Tank Girl, sure enough. It was deeper than you thought. It is deeper than I thought. I was so hurt that I'm like, oh, you just stealing, man. You guys are just stealing. You're not doing nothing new or original. And I'm like, holy crap.
Long live GORF.
I think the race says better late than never. I don't know. I could have went to bed not knowing that I was an idiot for X number of years. That might have been better. Discordia Dog is here with the food. I'm going to have to share it with you in a minute.
You will need a Norwegian Doom space.
So anybody else put the thought into that about GORF? Am I the only goober who has played GORF a fair amount that never picked up on that? All I saw was screen-to-screen theft of different space shooters. Except for the final screen, which I always loved. Yeah, get some tacos. Poor Tech Girl says it's the voice, makes you think it's derivative. Yeah. Fool me. I'd be mad if Scott knew it all along. If I talk to Scott tomorrow and he's like, oh yeah, everybody knows that. Everybody knows that.
Norwegian robots. Attack.
All right, now that I've unlocked the secret, it's time to beat this game. Also, whenever they said that they stole the Enterprise for this game, I always thought they meant that final ship. Oh, mutual destruction. Mutual destruction. But they meant the ship I'm flying is a Enterprise style ship.
Galactic Defender, you are space cadet.
Even though to me it reminds more of a bird of prey. No. No. Oh my gosh, no. Trap me. I just want to get to the final screen. Please. Please leave me alone. Let me get to the final screen. Oh gosh. Oh, Chucky dog.
Space cadet. I am the Dorvian Empire.
Bite the dust, Space Cadet. I am the Gorfian Empire. Vortex Girl says, oh yeah, I see it now. I thought it was because the men wear skirts on the ship. This is the first season, and that's the next generation. It's so fun going back. There's two shows that I like going back and watching season one, but I find it so hard to take it seriously. But both season one sci-fi shows, The Next Generation, and season one of Stargate, which was like, I think on Showtime when it first launched, is such a different vibe. And it's hilarious. Because they act like it's not like we're not supposed to notice it. It's like, of course we noticed it. Of course we saw it.
Robots, attack.
And it's fine, but they did have to pick a guy with the nicest, beefiest legs possible in a skirt. He's like, yeah, look at these legs. You wear a skirt too. Of course, it's not supposed to be a skirt, right? I'm sure it's supposed to be like, hey, it's the future. I'm still a manly man. It's a kilt. Them knees, baby. Ooh, finally. Some man knees.
Prepare yourself for annihilation, Space Cadet.
Oh man, I'm doing pretty good. I should have went for the extra coins. Or maybe because I didn't go for the extra coins is why I'm doing good. Looks it's the golden snitch. All we got left is the golden snitch, and he's stuck. Oh no, he's moving.
You cannot escape.
This is where I fail every time. It's the lag. It's the lag. It's not my fault. Okay. All right. The trick is not to get stuck in a corner, right? Like this. Oh no! Come on! I accidentally hit an extra button and it killed my controller. What button was that?
Space Cadet, you cannot escape the Dorvian robots.
You cannot escape the Gorfian robots? Is that what it said? Are they robots? Are they robots? Is that a fact? All right, okay, I dropped 2 coins this time. I dropped 2 coins. What time is it? We have 15 minutes before the next ahead. All right. We can do this. Yeah, no wonder they're winning. Bunch of cheaters. They're robots. How am I supposed to do that? Oh, you would think if I destroyed him that he wouldn't be able to drop any more ships. And that would be like a big bonus. I got some points for it, but... yeah, it's unfair, man. They're not just aliens, they're robot aliens. Yeah. Just show me we need them.
Another enemy ship destroyed.
Yeah, my ship's destroyed. Blah, blah, blah. I'm already down to like... I'm not even got this first screen with... Just gonna still have the first two that I had normally. That's some crap.
Robot warriors seek and destroy a space cadet.
Yeah. Got him. Nice. Woo. Meatballs incoming. Golden snitch and meatballs.
Dying and Commodore Empire.
Oh, man.
Bad
Thought I was playing that
Space
smart.
Cadet.
Bad move, Space Cadet. Bad move, Space Cadet. Oh, how am I missing these guys? Even like I just missed them wholesale. Oh, they are coming down now. They're coming down like rain. Oh, oh. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I mean, I am just like completely missing these guys. Ah, no, 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 no. Don't you kill me. Don't you do me cheap kill. Don't you kill me with a cheap kill. All right. All right.
You will need a
Oh no, I forgot we gotta get past this before we get to the final stage. Son of a butthole. Son of a butthole. If you can do what I'm doing right now and avoid those asteroids, it's the best way to do it, because otherwise these guys get fast on the outside. Gotta kill them before they get closer. Oh my. Oh! Come on!
Light dust space cadet. All hail the supreme Dorvian Empire.
Meatwad gets the money, see? Meatwad gets the honeys, G. That's right, Fortet girl. Son of a Gorf's garter belt, says Discordia. Discordia confirms the insides of my feelings. Stupid Gorfians. I just wanted to make it to Space Captain. I just wanted to make it to Space Captain. Just one God blessed time. That's so much to ask. I just want the computer to call me Space Captain. I got dreams. Dadless says, I'm actually legitimately impressed with how the programmers reuse logic across different stages. Yeah, it's a pretty impressive game. It really feels like on the surface, it's like this, just a big old stealing thing. Well, let's take a look at the story real quick, too, because I've had coins here constantly. Will it give it to us here? Will it give it to us? Insert coin. The evil Gorfian robot empire has attacked. Your assignment is to repel the invasion and launch a counterattack. You will engage various hostile spacecraft as you journey towards a dramatic confrontation with the enemy flagship. So, finally took the story they've given me and understood what they were trying to tell me visually. What about a gangster of love? Or Maurice? Maurice! Grace says, don't die and you will eventually become a captain. That's the problem. I'm not good enough. I'm blaming the controller. This controller's too stiff. If I had my looser controller, I could definitely do this. But what's the alternative? Except that I am subpar? I don't think that sounds good. I don't think that sounds good at all. Dadless says, greetings, Starfighter. Ooh, Starfighter. I haven't seen Starfighter in forever. You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada. I'm saying that right? The Kodan Armada? I can't even remember. Kodan. Yeah, blame the tools, the Wraith. I mean, come on. They don't care. Do you care if I blame you? I refuse to take responsibility. All right, let's see. We've done that one. Did we look at the ColecoVision one? I think we did. Oh, let me see. I have a message. I do want to look something real quick. You guys just hold on. Just watch this. Watch behind me for just a second. What is the Commodore is 2? The Commodore is 2. The Commodore is 2. 1 second, please. All right. Monkey Bananas is here. What's up? Oh, the ads hit? Darn it. I could have waited if I'd known the ads were coming. Quick, the ads are coming. The ads are coming. I'll wait for the ad to get done. I'll wait for the ad to be done. So Briggs the Bacon finished brushing her skeletal mouth bones and has gifted Monkey Bananas a sub. Avis says, Gorf again? How much Gorf can you play, you big Gorf? How much Gorf can one Gorfian play? So that's actually a really good question. So what we're gonna do here for a second. What we're gonna do for a second is we're gonna reminisce. We're gonna talk about, ooh boy, that's annoying. The Ray says, who is Gorfian? Gorfians. Let's reboot this bad boy. We're coming back up again. Get the little nice little, when it first starts up, it gives her little different little rotating lights. Get back into our Commodore 64. The ad's about done. So I dug through my drawer that I know that I have a bag of Aladdin's Castle coins, but I could not find the bag. I know it's in there, but I did find one token. Let me see if we're other way, Ryan. Other way. Let's see if we can Can you see that Aladdin's castle on the token? Can you see the little reflection there? Let's see. If I turn to the other cameras, maybe a little more zoomy. Yeah. And these would typically kind of turn like a golden color. Oh, I turned it all the way around because on one side it had the little Aladdin genie. Let me see. I can't quite get it there. Let's see if I can get a better shot on the rear cam. Oh yeah, Davis says I will say you knew that there was a GORF cabinet in the arcade just from Idle Sound. Yeah, and I remember our GORF was like at the front entrance, right? Let me see how close I can get. All right, don't know how well this is looking. Maybe I need to put it under my electronic microscope. That's okay. Right about there. A little shiny bit there. Can you kind of see Aladdin? And always had like these little corners too. It wasn't perfectly round. It had like little edges on them. Yeah, look at that little castle on the backside. It was Aladdin's castle. But yeah. But I have a whole bag somewhere. I'll have to see if I can do a better. I'll have to see if I can do a better picture of that shortly. It's kind of hard to do. Oh, we got some old Showbiz pizza tokens. Very nice, Discordia. Nice. Showbiz pizza. Where a kid can be a kid and eat crappy pizza. Eat crappy pizza. Bum. So I want to show you guys something that I'm going to talk about pre-show. No, not pre-show. At the top of the show tomorrow night on the Play Retro show, which is at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Me and Scott Johnson will be talking about GORF, but I'd like to reward you guys for watching earlier and tell you what I've had fun doing with my Commodore 64 Ultimate. Got my joystick ready, and I am going to load up. I'm going to hit here. This is you hit if you have one of these and you haven't figured out that you can hold the Commodore key with the restore button. That allows you to get into the overall menu where you can do more things. This was not part of the original Commodore. What you saw before, the basic screen was what you would usually see. Doubtless as I was always also scared of the piano playing gorilla from Showbiz. Yeah. Dirt Atari guy. The Atari guy, stupid Showbiz and scary stuff. Hey, sorry with getting okay. Sorry. All right. So we need to go our disk file browser. We have a USB stick that came with our device that comes with a whole bunch of cool stuff. And one of those cool things is our GOS boot disk. So this is a real operating system that you could use back in the day on the Commodore 64. Oh my gosh, I hope not. Rockfire explosion, animatronic. There was still real people in there. That'd be terrifying. Terrifying. Now, one thing you may not be able to hear. Let me see if I can turn off my microphone filter. Can you guys hear that? So there's a built-in speaker. Yeah, there's a built-in speaker that emulates like the disk drive and stuff. And I think I've got this set to light accurate mode, which means that it will take all the time it wants to load up. Has there ever been, Avian says question, has there ever been faithful recreation of War Game as a game? So War Game. Microphone decided to stop cooperating. War Games, the movie. You know, it seems like I do remember something like that. Maybe I'm full of crap. I can't remember. All right. So, see, I don't have a mouse, but I did order a. So you got the old style, like remember the plugs that were on these little 9-pin plugs that you would have on an Atari joystick. You could plug that into your Atari. Tin Lobster, what is up, my friend? Wavy wave. How's your Tuesday Wednesday going? What's up, Tin Lobsters? So you could plug in your joystick in GOS like this, and you could move around like a mouse, or you could use one of the old 2-button Amiga style mouses you're used to seeing. Anyway, I ordered a USB adapter because I do have with the mini Amiga Mini, it came with one of the little 2-button mouses. So I'm going to work with that. Paranoid Polaroid, what is up? Any known hardware bugs with the Starlight? Not that I've seen so far, but I haven't dug in deep. There is, like, the Starlight Edition does have a known problem with what's called keyboard flex because of them trying to keep it as transparent as possible. But there are some 3D prints you can use, which I do have a 3D printer, and some clear filament that I could print a support for. But I'm not experiencing what some people are experiencing with a lot of keyboard flex. Mine's a little bit, but it's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing really noticeable. But yeah, so we can use this. So we're in GOS, which will run on Commodore 64. And what we can do here is, so we got the GOS, and now we can get our swap disk in here. So you usually swap these out, but I have emulated that I have a B drive, right? So I'm just going to go to GeoPaint, and I'm going to mount it on my disk B. All right. Once I do that, then I can just go over here and open up disk B, and I should be able to launch GeoPaint. I never used GeoPaint back in the day, but I started messing with it, and I really like the simplicity of how it works. Oh, tired from shoveling snow, Tin Lobster? Man, how much snow did you guys get? How much of the snows and time did you get? We got like a snow and sleet mix, and so it didn't stay along very well. Remember those big 8-inch, those big old 8-inch drives in War Games? Those were great. All right, so I started farting around the other night, so let's take this. Like I said, it just fired. Well, let's just create something new. So let's create a new image. All right, so we got, so we have this. Let's just call this Mission Deep. All right, Mission Deep. It's gonna load that up, right, and it's saving it to the disk. We've got a nice little color palette down here we can use. Tin Lobster says, I am Maryland, ended up with around 10 inches in ice. Holy smokes. That is crazy. All right, so, man, 10, oh my gosh, that's just too many inches. 10 inches. I've seen people say they've got a foot. I've seen people say multiple. Oh my God. That would, how that would just stop everything where I live. 10 inches in Maryland is probably like, meh, I've seen worse. But in South Carolina, 10 inches is like, oh my God. What should we do? I can't even open the front door. I hope you have this one too before Tank Girl. And if not, we can get you a copy. So what's way cool, it starts off with the pencil, and the pencil has an eraser. And look how they cleverly used a little user interface trick here and stacked it there. So it looks like the full pencil there. Now, if you use the pencil, you by default will have this kind of gray color. And you can choose to use patterns if you wanted to, which are down here. But I'm just going to go with the basic, what it started with. You also notice down here is like this little page thing here. And you can jump around on this page because this would print a full sheet of paper. So this takes into consideration that you would be using just a standard sheet of paper, right, for printing out. So I would be drawing in this upper corner here. I could just, and I remember I'm doing this with Atari joystick, so it's not super accurate, right? I'm waiting on that mouse so I could do some more cool stuff, because like drawing a circle, that's kind of like drawing a circle on an Etch-a-Sketch, right? It's kind of rough. All right, so and you have to disengage. So the cursor is, can you tell it's blue? It's probably kind of hard for you guys to see the color shift, but there is a slight color shift from like this black color to this blue color. The blue color means you're disengaged from the surface, and then if it's black, then you're drawing. And you do get one undo. Remember when Photoshop used to only have one undo? This one also only has the one undo. Let's see if we can select all. Is that an option? Nope, that is not an option. Could you pixel edit? This is what's way cool though. I like this pixel edit mode. So in Photoshop and more recent, paint applications, you would use zoom, right? You'd zoom in. You just like do your little plus or whatever. So let's select all of this here. And then let's clear it. Okay, so once you get in that, you get an edit mode, and then you just clear it. There we go. You can see we can also drag this shape around too. I believe, yeah, we can. It's like we can drag it around a little bit. All right. How do I get out of this though? Oh, I don't know. I don't know, Brian. How do you get out of there? Okay, there we go. Whew. That was rough. All right. And once we select another tool, the selection disappears. But then we could do things like if we wanted to make, let's say we wanted to make like a little wall here, we could pick our square that is filled with that, right? So we could just draw that right there. Doink. And then we could outline it if we wanted to. Make a little brick wall. Like I said, this is very difficult using this joystick, but you could do it. You could do it. Make a little joystick there. And then if we wanted to make some, maybe, let's see if I can. I have to undoes the whole thing. Undoes the whole thing. I'm gonna add a little perspective to it. Could do that. We could drag this down like so, right? Just down the street a little bit. A little vanishing line, maybe. Not great. Not great, but you're getting the idea. We have potential here. Might do a little editing and post. Yeah, doing this with a controller is crazy hard. You had Kai's power tools too. Yeah, that's a good one. Or Kai, whatever. Mac Paint is very much compared to Mac Paint too, right? And we even got fills here. So if we filled in everything or made everything closed areas, right? So we're just getting our little closed in areas there. It should be a closed loop. You can actually do a fill tool here, right? And we can fill that in with another shape. We'll say when we fill it in with that shape. Boink. We draw that in right there. So look at there. So this is what you could do. When was the first Wacom tablet? So Wacom was probably a little later, but there were tablets that you could use. And I'm looking forward to getting an adapter from Tindi. You ever use Tindi? Tindi. Little website with a bunch of little homegrown projects that people do and sell, and there's an interface that's a USB adapter on one side that goes to the 9-pin plug that's on this thing. And at that point, we should be able to use an era-appropriate mouse, which will help a lot. I've drawn plenty with mice. And then I thought also maybe I could look at what tablets are possibly past mouse type movement around. I've got to look into that. I'm not sure exactly. Lots of times, like the Wacom tablets, however you want to say it, depend on a piece of software that kind of runs as a client in there. So I'm curious if there are any tablets that just function as a mouse in some form of function. So I gotta figure that out. That's the next thing I'm gonna do. But you can do all kinds of cool stuff. Like with GOS, I was kind of surprised just in general what you could do. We can install more fonts here. Comes with the BSW font, wherever that is. Big, sick font. I don't know. But you also could do like a preview. Oh, did we ever show you? I didn't show you the thing I told you I was going to show you. Let me see. I think I accidentally started a function here. Let's see what happens. This is my favorite part of it. Let's see if it does it. Let's just open one that I already did. I was fiddle farting around with the different tools and the styles last night, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." And so, of course, I had a little more ability to concentrate when I was by myself, right? So I was just trying some different things. I was like, "Oh, let's see if we can draw little faces." And one of the ways I was able to draw a little better with this stupid stick thing was I was able, like I created a. Let's see here. Then we can just get back to that. And so I was like, I created like a thing like this, right? Create a little square. And I create another little square inside there. Oh, maybe I will. It's not functioning now. Okay, so create another little square right there, right? And I'm like, usually I would have zoomed in by now. I'm like, that's too difficult. But, all right, let's see. That draws the square. All right. And then we'll draw a square there. We'll draw a little square there, right? And we'll make a little stupid little mouth here. Oh, that's because I'm in shape mode, not line mode. Let's do it with this one. Get a little stupid face there. And then my favorite part is I can do that. I can double click, I believe. Is that what it is? Double click there? No, that's not how you do it. Undo it. There's a shortcut to do it, but the way I did it last night was just go to Pixel Edit. You choose your area, click. Then it'll break down into the little pixels. And then when you're in this pixel mode, then you'll have 3 different colors. So you got the blue for, I believe that. Okay, so the blue is just moving around. The black is when you're on the surface. Maybe the blue. Okay. If you're blue, you can erase because it'll turn to red. All right, now I'm erasing stuff, right? So let's get some of these overlay lines we had before. All right. And then we can color in here. And as you can tell, if you look on the bottom left-hand side, we got a accurate size of our little zoomed in area. So this is a good little pixel editor. All on my Commodore 64. Crazy, right? And then from there, we could save these and create them into some sprites, right? That would be awesome. But there you go. Some nice little, you could add color in here too, which we haven't done yet. Talk about a robot. Beep, bop, boop. Beep, bop. Oh, undo. I drug it too far. Reet, rot, root. But yeah, I could say, I did. I did it again. It's going to be so much easier when I get a mouse, I think. Or maybe it'll be 10 times harder. Who knows? Oh, I'm about to do it again. Look at me doing it again like an idiot. All right, there we go. There, fine. Suck it, sucker. All right. And let's see. Let's give him another little knob over here. Like I said, I haven't figured it all out yet. I'm using the joystick right now, but eventually I will figure it out. Then we can give this guy a couple little lines here, right? Enough electricity. Oh, come on. Okay. Oh, because I got you. It's not showing it on some of it because is probably too much for the processor. All right, that's fine. Anyway, you get the idea. You get the idea. We can make stuff. Doink. There we go. And we just get out of this mode here. Get it back into your normal mode. Boop. Yeah, but I'm interested. It looks like a lot of fun. Give him blue eyes. Yeah, we should do that. Let's give him some blue eyes. Let's add some color. Let's add some color real quick. Let's get in there. Let's give him some blue eyes. Let's give him some. There we go. All right, we got. Oh, that's our eraser. Let's not do that. We can also paint. We haven't tried the paintbrush yet in this pixel mode. Ooh, it does look like it looks like it's an odd shape. It's different than the. Oh, that's the fill line, maybe. What? I don't think that works like I thought it would. All right, let's go back to the pencil. I don't know how to use that yet, apparently. All right. Oh, look, and now it's filling in that way too. Interesting. Oh, or is it because it's too big? I wonder why it's doing that. Interesting. Yeah, blue eye bleed. Let's get out of this pixel mode. I wonder why it's doing that. Is it because I went back in? And now I'm in a different color. That is interesting. Wonder why it's doing that, because it's not really like pixel editing right now. Yeah, the spice must flow. Oh, and now it's okay. And now it changed colors again. Now it looks more black than that kind of grayish we're using. It seems like it's filling in or something. All right, so maybe that's just the oddity of the application we got to figure out. All right. Well, and look, see, then it filled it in again. Okay. Weird. It's like it has this bleed effect or something. There you go. Now he has a little hat thing there. Why not? Why not? I don't know. Like I said, I feel like this will be a lot better experience once I get my mouse in. And I can I can also draw grid lines too, right? So it can give you a little grid line so you can kind of do that. Uh-oh. We gotta do that. You look at what I do. Looks like that's there forever then. Is there forever. Yeah. Erase grid lines. But hey, that's pretty cool, right? I like it. I like it. I gotta learn more of it. This looks like a lot of fun to me. Creating some sprites for a video game we've talked about doing forever. So one more piece of the puzzle put together. We'll slowly create our own character, and we'll figure that. We'll figure all that out. Come up with some gameplay. Figure if we want to start out by writing some real simple demo and like basic, and then move on to something a little more complicated. Let's see. Do we quit here? We can also print, but I don't have a printer hooked up, right? 410 Girl says, I've been drawing on the iPad and getting into using layers and transparency like in the old days with Photoshop. Yeah, that's the one thing I'm curious about. Like, there's no transparency, which actually kind of makes it a little, maybe a little more focused. Yeah, less onerous than modern Photoshop subscription. Yeah, stupid Photoshop subscriptions. But this will pop us back out into our regular GOS, but I think it's pretty cool. I never had any type of GUI on my Commodore 64. By the time I got into GUIs, I was all the way into Windows 3.1, I think. So I'd moved on to the IBM compatible type PCs. And so, yeah, I find it fascinating that Commodore had kind of access to a kind of a Mac style interface, even though this has colors, right? So let's take a look here. I was also curious about the fonts, because apparently you got like a publish, a paint. There's even the GIF, whatever. You can convert files to GIFs. So there you go. Tim Via, what's up? Thank you for the follow. Tim Via, welcome in. Hope you're having a good Tuesday, Wednesday, wherever in the world you are. But we got a demo thing, which is difficult. We also have some fonts we can install. I wonder if it'll keep it long term. I'm assuming it will, because these images are writable. And one thing you have to remember when you're doing these extras, if you want to mount it, you don't want to run it because it will cause problems. I did say mount, right? Temp Via, how's your day going? Okay, so here's some of our fonts here. We got the Arizona, right? So this is font disk 1. It has a total of a whopping 8, my friends. 8 fonts. How do we install these, I wonder? We select it. Do we double click it? Is that a thing? Or do we have to copy the files over? How does font management work on a GOS? Okay, we selected it. Does it then give us options? It does not give us options. Select. Arizona is a square sheep. Yeah, have you ever been to Arizona? It looks just like that. You know, I say there's 8, but then I'm noticing there is a page fold down here in the corner. So if we click on that, will that give us more? It says 29 files on the whole thing, so probably so. I got Bonanza, Celtic, Durant. We know some of these. Hey, it's the Commodore font, right? Here's the Commodore font. I'm still not sure how we manage these fonts. Now, if I double click it, I'm hearing the file cannot be opened from the desktop. Okay, so where can it be managed at then? Okay, how do you install this? How do you install a font? Select printer, select input. Let's see, you got the plain boot. Do I have to drag it to maybe one of these folders on the plain boot? Desktop configure, turbo boot. I like the boot thing it has there. 15 files total. 8 on each screen, it looks like maybe. Preferences manager, calendar, quick pick, quick stash. Quick stash. Well, I double clicked the preference manager, but doesn't seem to do anything. But I do like the little office chair it's got there with like a little desk. I like that art. I'm getting more. There we go. Now we got some more stuff now. All right. Now we had some. It took it a minute, but it started picking up speed there. Okay. So, all right. So, exit load, say default. Okay. How do we exit out of this? Actual exit, I guess, right? Oh, we got some ads? Come on. All right, so let's go back into how do we install the fonts? You would think it'd be like a README file or something, right? When we're in the GOS fonts, you think like there's a README file like towards the R's or something, or towards the back. Ray says, and I'm back in the room, baby. You're back. They were kind to you, right? All right, Flint's. That's page 4. That's the final page, right? Yeah. Corey, allegory. That's what I was wondering, like drag into a folder or something. I know drag and drop is a thing here, so let's just, can we drag it to the desktop? Is that a thing? Because I mean, there's other icons on the desktop. Can we do that? Like, all right, I do hear some. Oh, we drug it completely. There's no copy into that. It was like, used to be on this drive, now it's over here. We should have duplicated it, right? Maybe that's what we should have done. If we duplicate it, what will it say? Will it give us a destination? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's duplicate that bad boy right back into that folder just in case we want it later. All right. Please enter a new file name. Probably going to name it Commodore 2 or something because it's probably wanting to just duplicate it at its current location. Time to go. So what is up? Tom, do you ever play with any GOS? You ever play with some Geo? Oh, look at that. So it did duplicate it right back into there. Interesting. Now, let's see. Nope, don't do that. Can I rename it from there? Tonda, what have you been doing, my friend? What you been doing? Hey, if you're not following Tonda Go, so what have you been doing in your life? You never seen this stuff? This is the Commodore 64 Ultimate. But this is a real operating system that you could use called the GOS. GOS, I guess you could call it as well, but whatever. All right, let's see if we can rename this thing. So we're just looking at a paint application called GeoPaint, which I find pretty cool. Yeah, controlling the window GUI with joystick is definitely not ideal. That's what we're doing right now because we have a device on order. Dadless, time to work. Yes, go get some dinner. Good night. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I made a cool little drawing. We'll bring it back up to show you. We'll do that. We'll bring up our little doodle. We kind of ran into an issue, so we stopped. But we'll come back. Oh, so interesting. The file Commodore already exists. Oh, interesting. So how does it already exist? Interesting, because to me that would say that it's at two different locations, but that's not how the computer is reading it apparently. All right, so fascinating. Show me your doodle. Wait, this is not my OnlyFans page. All right, we'll see. Maybe dragging it, maybe it didn't actually take it out. Hey, Bancroft, we know that one. Oh, I must have. Why does it go all the way there? How do you just go one page? Yeah, it's just I don't know, but it's safe in there regardless. We might have to rename it eventually at some point in time, but whatever. Fonts 2, GeoSpell. Let's do GeoWrite. Oh, so this says right here. It says all fonts. So I guess we don't have to do that. We can just load this one up if we wanted to use that one. Well, hello. How are you, Terry Dunaway? No relation, of course. Hey, Dad. What you doing? Just playing around with the GOS. Did you ever mess with GOS on the Commodore 64 or the 128? Dad had both of those. It's a GUI for our Commodore, and I am controlling it right now with my old Atari joystick, wireless. Yeah, Discord says, I was just going to ask. I was just about to ask. Is it relations? Just loaded up. Operation canceled. Drive B track 38 sector. Interesting. Okay. Computer machine music. What is going on? I bet you know all about the SID chip. All right, let's turn this off and get it back on again and see maybe we've goofed up. How do you add the GOS? Is it on a floppy? It is on a floppy. It is literally a disk operating system, right? It's an operating system that runs on a disk. You had hard drives you could put on. Thank you, Christy. Welcome in. How are you, Christy? Hope you're having a good Tuesday, Wednesday, wherever in the world you are. We were just talking about this Commodore 64 GOS. We're trying it out. It's on our Commodore 64 Ultimate. We were playing GORF, and now we're just messing around a little bit, trying to understand this a little bit better. There's also a different GUI too. I don't know what this thing is. I didn't really take a look at it, but it's a CART. That CRT is not for cathode ray tube. Is CRT short for CART, I believe. And the D64 and tells me this is a disk image. And we can mount it and then run it, or we can just run the disk, which will auto run the load 8,1, which is this device. Stormy Sooner, what is going on, my friend? How is your Tuesday, Wednesday going? Oh, computer machine. I'm a Sega Saturn collector. Well, guess what? We got a big old Sega Saturn back there. We played some Sega Rally Championship last week for the Play Retro show, and I have several Sega Saturns myself, and just ordered the Sega Saturn arcade wheel off eBay, which I've been meaning to do. I was watching a few of them. I just wasn't overly enthusiastic what I was seeing for the price. It was a fine price. It was fine. It wasn't a deal, but it was fine. So do you collect all the games as well? I've wanted to get a Japanese model as well because I love the coloring on those. I like that. Oh, nice. Sorry I missed that. I have a Sega Rally Championship speedrun record. That is amazing. I do not have a Sega Rally Championship speedrun record. I have not even close to that. So that is great. Now, did you do that? How did you do that? Is that did you do that at the arcade? Did you do it on the Sega Saturn? Did you do it with the arcade steering wheel or something else? I'm interested. Tell me more. I don't know a whole lot about speedrunning. I do occasionally look because I find it fascinating, especially how people are able to maximize that stuff. So that's cool. That is way cool. Before Tank Girl, sometimes you got to pay to play. Arctoron, what is up? Seeing this old Commodore 64 screen brings back memories. Yes. Did you ever get to mess with the GOS, or were you talking about the basic screen? Stormy Sooner says, just finished dinner playing some Bubble Bobble. Yes. That is great. Love me some Bubble Bobble. Trying to figure out how to do this font management. So I'm not sure on this GOS swap disk, which contains all the disks we usually swap out for. We're actually running it on a second drive, a B drive, because it's all emulated. Why not? Doesn't cost me anything. All fonts 1581. Oh, so that's actually a D81 drive image. So that is the reason why it's not working. Because we are not set up for that one. We need to, how do I back out of that? There we go. So we need to go into, just real quick, shouldn't take us a second. We'll get into, where's it at here? Memory and ROMs. Am I missing it? Did I look over it? Built in. I can't read. So we need to set drive B as a 1581. As you can tell, we have ROMs already in here for that 1581. So, do we need extra RAM? Let's just try it without it and see what happens. Anybody put some install some extra RAM in their 1581s? Tongosa says, I busted out of the pinball controller tonight. Woo! You adjusted the solenoids a bit. Dude. I was talking about replacing my pots on my Flight Stick Pro earlier. Arctaran says, yeah, the basic screen. A friend's family had one. So grew up playing that in the Atari 2600, which, of course, you probably are very familiar with the CX40. This is the CX40 Plus, which Atari sells now. The company that is Atari now sells this wireless controller, which you can plug into your 9-pin port or USB if you like. Okay, Google says, before Tank Girl, says make sure fonts are on a disk the system can read. Might be why. So let's go back up to the file browser and let's go and mount our GeoWrite with all fonts on the 1581, which it says right there in the name, including the file system type. It's an 800K. It's an 800K drive disk. Look at that. Let's mount that on B. Avian says, okay, Brian, I feel like I am 10 years old again with this tablet drawing. Behold his horrific glory in the Pix chat in Discord. Avian, that's great. I'm going to check that in a second. I can't wait to see that. We're also going to share our little doodle here again in a minute. I'm going to share my doodle. I'm going to share my doodle. Oh, where'd it go? Must be refreshing. But I don't hear the little drive thing going. wonder if it'll take 2 types of drives. It should. It should. But it don't appear to be. Let's see what happens. I don't know. So why wait on that to see if it's going to actually respawn? Because I'm getting nothing now. Nothing. Listen, Shay says better watch out. So let's take a look on Discord real quick. Let's see what Avian. Are you the one who? Yes, shared doodles. Are you the one who shared your doodlies? Let's take a look here. Where is my window capture? And we'll just look here. Discord. And let's go down to, that's Rock Pants Central. Let's go down there. And by the way, if not part of the Discord server, what are you doing with your life? Come on. We need to give a shout out to Tondagosa here in a second. You say you posted it. What channel did you post it in? I didn't read very well. Retro Gaming, maybe? Retro Gaming, maybe? There's some Sora stuff. I haven't even looked at that. DJ Strength, what'd you put in there? What did you put? Pix chat. Okay, yeah. Pix chat. All right, there we go. There it is. I hope I'm not offended. Look at all the food. Look at all the foodies we have in our community. Look at all that. Also, geez, how far am I behind? Holy smokes. That is amazing, Avian. What'd you do this in? That is awesome. I love that. I'm saving it. I will save it on the screen so they won't know where I'm putting it at. But that is freaking awesome. What'd you paint that in? Lounge Pix chat. Yep, there you go. Yeah, that is cool, dude. Yeah, we need to do more artwork on here. I used to do that a lot. Haven't done that lately. It's fantastic. Oh, on a t-shirt. Yeah, that sounds great. All right, so I think we have failed on this one. Oh, is it Procreate? Yeah, I love my Procreate on my iPad. I was drawing with that today, as a matter of fact. We do need to do more artwork, don't we? And then we'll have to draw. First thing we have to do is draw us a different. Draw a little something different besides GORF. Because right now, if somebody's coming in, they're like, "This isn't GORF. This is a bunch of GORFs talking, maybe." A bunch of GORFs talking. Let's give a shout out to Tondagasa, good friend of mine, who does retro gaming. And most of you probably already know, but still, just in case any of you missed out, don't miss out on Tondagasa. Procreate is awesome. Also an artist as well. Tonda is an artist, an amazing artist. I love his artwork. Matter of fact, he's got some really cool stuff right there on his Twitch page if you're checking it out. All right. And just a reminder, like I said, we're using the Commodore 64 Ultimate Starlight Edition. Ours does not have any of the big flex problems that some of the people were having. Seems to function very well. Comes with these applications. So if you get one, you will also get all this software. And we're going to boot this again. Because of all these applications right there that I wasn't showing. Reverse the colors and make it white on black too. Ooh, yeah, do that too. Take my money. And like I said earlier, you may be able to hear that. Has a built-in speaker that makes these drive noises, knocking. Come on, give me some more knocking. All I'm hearing is spinning. It always worried me whenever I had my 1541. That was always worrisome. I'm like, I need some knocking. I can't tell you if you've been reading anything if you don't get to the end of the tracks. I need a little head knocking. Maybe we should have put more memory in here. Maybe we should have done that. This is an FPGA thing, so we can kind of fiddle fart around a little bit. I don't know if Dad's still around or not, but he was over on YouTube. I ordered a Commodore 60. I ordered the Commodore VIC-20 GORF cart. I was trying to remember. Did you give me the GORF cart, or is that something I picked up later? 14 Girl says, one of my discs made a loud noise. I was afraid it had exploded in there. Not something you want to happen. Yeah. CD-ROMs were so much more dangerous than floppy disk, right? CD-ROMs flying around there, unbalanced. Making some terrible noises. All right, let's see if we get the same failure again. Let's do the same behavior, but expect a different outcome. What do you think? What if we... is this stuff loaded into memory? So, like... That wouldn't matter anyway because we can't do that one. Mount disk. So I see the mount disk standard, which... And then you got read only. What is UNL? Maybe we need to add memory to this thing. I picked it up later. All right. But I ordered another. I ordered a GORF cart for the VIC-20. So I do. I had. Last time I checked, 6 months ago, I had a functional VIC-20. But if you know anything about retro tech, just because 6 months ago you had one that worked doesn't mean that when you go to turn it on again that it will actually work. So I have the expectation that I will pull the VIC-20 out of its box and turn it on and hopefully work. It definitely... I'm trying to remember if that was one... I need starting to mark these down. I'm trying to remember if that one did have the recaps. I try to make a note whenever I get these systems if they've been recapped already. I can't remember. I think when I bought this one, it was one that was already recapped because I had some options and I went, do I want to recap this myself or do I just want to buy? Because I got it off eBay, or do I want to buy one that's usually when I get off of eBay, it's usually already recapped unless I'm just doing whatever. No magic blue smoke. What? Rude. All right. So once again, we're getting a fail. We're getting a fail. So let's see if we can do the Commodore restore. So we can get out of that. Okay. And then let's go back here and see if adding the extra memory or the extra RAM to this guy. I'm going to leave all these default. Reset when Commodore 64 resets, freezes in menu. I don't know what these other things are. DG64 GOS copy protection. D64 GOS copy protection. Now we are in GOS. Is that a factor? Unsure. Let's try it without it and try it with. Shay says, kind of surprised number of things that run on Magic Smoke. It really is. Discordia, we gorfed it up bad. Oh, Shay says, sometimes in this experience, it's yellow. Woo! Terrifying. All right. Still nothing. Oh, wait a minute. It gave me my mouse back. And it stopped making the gur sound. So let's try it again. Does it just not... Okay, now I got nothing. I got nothing. Nothing. Let's see here. Let's try booting it again. Welcome in. Hope you're having fun on this Tech Tuesday, Wednesday, wherever in the world you are. We're just messing around a little bit with GOS on the Commodore 64 Ultimate. Reminiscing about that. Talking about speedrun records on Sega Rally Championship, which we recently played. And I got a steering wheel coming, arcade steering wheel. For my Sega Saturn, I have... That will mean that on my Sega Saturn, which if I have two, both North American, both fully functional with CDs, both have the Saru cart so that I can make sure that the laser keeps working. I have a gun, the light gun. I specifically picked that one up for Scud. Scud the... What kind of assassin? Scud the invincible assassin? What is he? Scud Oh my gosh. Anyway, the game is called Scud, and it used a combination of like side scrolling and shooters. So it's like a side scrolling shooter, but you can use the gun. And I also have the fight stick for the Sega Saturn. I do not have any type of flight controllers for the Sega Saturn, and I don't have the 3D controller. Those are the things I'm still missing. Okay. I need a list. You know what we could do? We could use GEOS to create ourselves some forms and create a old school database. Why, Brian, I think that's a fine idea. Would the 1581 also run? I mean, like, is the problem I've got two different styles, or I don't think we're going to have success here, but I am curious. So I'm going to try just this one thing, and then we'll move on. But I am curious about this GEOS copy protection. Gaps track 36 in both. Ugh. So I'm assuming that maybe this is kind of like a hack for that. Why not both? No, that's not what I meant. That's what I meant. Looks like Godspell, but it's Geospell. I wish I could read the rest of that. GeoWrite, all fonts, 1581 dash read me. Read only? I don't know what it is. And what is this mount disk unleaded? What is that? No, I'm still active here, but that disappeared again. All right, so I don't think we're having any success. Well, wait a minute. Wait. Oh, okay. Drive B, track 0, sector 0. So at least we got a different message that time. All right, well, whatever. Let's set it back to what it was, and we'll move on with life. We'll get back to those. We'll get back to our artwork real quick. Set it back to what it was so I don't forget. I don't want to forget. And we'll do this one. Let's get back into our paint. I'm excited about getting the mouse. I think that's going to make a big difference. Oh, you know what? I wonder if we got to restart since we switched out the type of device. I wonder if that's been one of the problems all along. Boy, I've started this screen a million times. Sit there typing away with my typing. Oh, one of my friends, Alan, has made me an offer to bring me some Omni magazines and some TV guides from the eras that some of these games were around during. And I'm also looking for some magazines with some type-ins. I know I can look up on archive, but I'd like to get a few physical magazines so I can do a few type-in games. And Discordia says, "Oh hell yeah, we need to look at those on the stream, baby." Yeah, poor Tank Girl. Definitely a mouse has changes the world of computers. And like I said, I know that I've had different drawing tablets over the years, and I know some operate as a mouse, and I'm curious how that may function as a driverless type of device, because most of them were like, more Windows and Mac-based. So I'm curious how that will function with this adapter I'm getting in. Because I know mouses themselves work with it, the adapter I'm getting. What's it called? I ordered off Tendy. It's like a mouse fart. I don't know what it's called. Discordia says, I miss doing typing games. Those were good games. They were good games. All right, so we've got the GeoPaint. Let's pull up our GeoPaint application. Four Tank Girl says, I really wish we had the Commodore magazines. We used to go to the C64 meetings. I don't remember too much about what happened, but I know we would type in programs we got from it. Yeah. And there's still, I still see, there's Commodore 64 meetings still happening. I mean, people still do those. I would like to start a local 8-bit computer club, because most of the 8-bit computers that people that I knew use some form of BASIC. And so, and most of the BASIC was universal, because most of them were running 6502 variants processors, which would use, they should all just, for the most part, work for the most part. The Wraith, yeah, I was just thinking about that too, and I hope the program listing was bug free. I was actually thinking, wouldn't it be neat if we found a notorious type-in game? Because there had to be one, right? There's got to be a notorious type-in game that hit the market from a magazine that just ruined kids everywhere, just ruined their lives after typing it all in and then having some bug. Because I've seen not retractions but corrections in type-in magazines. It's like, change this. And I've also experienced it too, but I can't recall the exact instant that it happened. But I've experienced where it's like, I've looked at all the code. I know this is right. I typed in just like they told me. Vortex, so that's cool. I missed the Dead Media Market last weekend. I wanted to see what Commodore 64 stuff they had. Oh man, I wish we had one of those here. We started drawing last night a little bit and didn't mean to get so sidetracked in what we're doing. But we actually got an ad break starting now on the Twitch. Sorry about that, guys and gals. But Christy, we did, I think Christy earlier. Yeah, ads. But I don't know if you're still around or not, Tonda, but this is what we're looking at, the GOS Paint. And we were just talking about how kind of cool it was in its simplicity. We're not talking about like Procreate where you have layers, or Photoshop where you have layers and stuff. But instead, you only got one undo level. I remember for a while it was like when you had Photoshop, it's like you could define how many undo levels you could have because it would kill your memory. If you only have so many undos, right? You can tell my cursor is like this kind of like cool looking. What color is that? Like a orange pink color, fluorescent kind of orange-ish thing. But look at this, so cool. I love it. Can I drag this around, or is that tabbed? Can you open multiples, or is that just a cool interface thing? But anyway, we're talking about this part because I got to get in here and clean up a little bit. So instead of like a zoom and unzoom, this really was all about printing, right? So your sheet here, if you look down at the bottom, is we are drawing on the upper left-hand quadrant of a standard sheet of office paper, right? Good, thank you, the Wraith. And so this is where your artwork is. So you can go into pixel mode. So you got a pixel art program right here. Just bam, bam. Look at that. Using a cute little pencil, right? Go in here and set up stuff. Now I'll remind those that I'm still using this 2600 joystick, this wireless, to draw right now. So good luck to me. But I got a mouse adapter coming in. All right, so we got that. And now, before we closed it last time, was getting some weird results from what we thought should be pretty clear. We were going to paint these eyes blue, but when we went to do our pixels by pixel, instead it's doing this fill in. Why is it filling in? Is it because when we choose, I don't understand. Why is it filling stuff in instead of actually drawing? So if we, oh, wait a minute. So if we, are there different blocks? Like is this a single pixel drawing block? Okay. And then if you choose something over in this palette, it's more of a fill type. Okay, that didn't change anything. Or is it just because when you choose a different color, I don't quite understand. Reminds me of the digital Etch-a-Sketch, right? Says Tondo. I can see that. But then I don't think so, because that's what I think too. But maybe if there's already something there and you change the color, it becomes that. Because see, look, it does this. Oh, wait, no, look, it is hitting. Oh, it is hitting these other blocks. Interesting. So is that intentional? Is that the way the application is supposed to work, or is something not right? Because that is interesting. Because if we always use the same color, we wouldn't see that happening, right? The Ray says it's a limitation of the Commodore 64. Could be. Very well. Could be. I don't know if you're stating that as a fact, or is that a theory? Could be a fact. The Ray says only 2 colors in an 8x8 block. So it is a limitation. That makes sense, because when you're building, because we are at the sprite level. So when we're zoomed in, is it using sprites, or was it? I'm not quite sure how that works. Okay, only 2 colors in an 8x8 block. Okay. All right. That's interesting, because, I mean, we're rendering things down here in our interface, but then when we're drawing, so is this kind of interpreting what we're doing into sprite? So it's kind of like faking it? Interesting. Okay. All right. That's fascinating. Okay. That is interesting. So we just have to work around it. Yeah, you learn something every day. And if you don't learn something, that's okay. There's always tomorrow. You can learn 2 things. But don't wait for 3 days, because 3 things is too many things to learn in a day. Don't procrastinate. Tana says, I was going to say, try the airbrush instead. Okay. But I think it's probably going to be like Ray said, it's the limitation of maybe how the Commodore 64, because I mean, there's a couple of modes, right? You got, yeah, okay. I think that may just be how it is. Look at that. What a big old smear. We're just going to smear that on there. That's actually kind of cool. Kind of actually see a way to use that. Yeah, that's neat. I kind of like that. Let's try to color from the normal edit. Yeah, just like paint. So realistic, says Fortinker. You know, just like paint. So let's see what happens when we're in regular edit mode and we try to paint near this. Yeah, same thing. See that collision happens? Yeah. And that's probably fine. We'll just have to, all right, so let's just work around that then. Yes, like you're painting with shotgun pellets. And now, Bob Ross with a shotgun. Painting happy little trees and accidents. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Let's go back into pixel edit mode. I think for coloring it's a little more difficult, but for everything else, for drawing and stuff, it's pretty cool. I wonder how I could overcome this. So like we did that. Is there a section here that I could conceive of that would allow me to understand what I may be expecting, right? So let's clear this out here. Let's get rid of these extra lines. Boop, boop. I don't mind repainting and stuff as long as I kind of know what my expectations are. All right. Okay. All right. And we was already on that one. Happy little trees. Happy little boom booms. Boom boom tree. Oh. Oh. Wait a minute. Oh, it changed back to the other color. Okay. Oh. Oh, because that. Okay. This is my selection area. Right. Oh, I'm really confused now. Oh, okay. So that filled that in pretty quickly. And then if I go to this. So I'll just have to consider when I'm doing this. Oh. Give it some glasses. Robots wear glasses, right? I'll have to do the math, I suppose. I'll have to do the math. That little beep means that I'm supposed to be in bed right now. You don't know me. We still have 15 more minutes. You can't tell me what to do, but I am realizing that my throat is very dry. So what do you guys think about this kind of stuff? Maybe we add a little bit of Sid music in here. Have some drawing sesh. Get us some draw us some sprites, and then maybe animate them a little bit in some basic, and then maybe get to a place where we're doing some assembly. Yeah, it's fine. I like the arts. The Ray says, whatever. It's only 2:15 a.m. here, so whatever. And I know my dad's up all night. I don't know what he's doing right now. Maybe he's just hanging out in the living room. He's got it. So Granny Mom, as we call her, because that's what it shows up on the phone, because Zoe and Audra share a phone at some point in time, and so the contacts got merged. And so for Audra, it's Mom. For Zoe, it's Granny. So it's Granny Mom. So we call her Granny Mom. She's doing okay. Last I checked, not great, but she's not getting better like we had expected or was hoping. How about that? Knee replacement surgery can be interesting. Look at that. We got past the plunger right now. We're gonna give everybody a second to get in here. Once they do, we're gonna say hello to Past the Plunger and the community. So welcome in. We was just talking about Granny Mom, and we were drawing a little bit in GOS Paint on the Commodore 64 Ultimate. Welcome in. It's our good friend Past the Plunger. If you're not following Plunger, what are you doing with your life? Also, you should be listening to his podcast, him and DJ. Have a great little. What's the podcast called? I always have trouble remembering it, and I apologize. I'm the worst. But I know the podcast, and I watch it, or the video cast. Now I usually catch it on YouTube when it shows up in my feed because I'm subscribed. But I can never remember names. I can't do it. I can barely remember the name of my own podcast. This is a fact. Discordia says, woo, another raid. Yes, welcome everybody. It's Past the Plunger, who also... he's over the pond, right? We're in the U.S. and he's over the pond, and he's always got great. Well, first of all, I love following him on Twitter, and I'm assuming you have Instagram as well. But I love seeing your coffee moments, like when you'll just go to a coffee shop and make me super jealous of some type of delicious looking drink And this is so good. You finished Ninja Gaiden Shadow Game Boy. That's awesome. Was stuck on the end boss for ages, but did it. That is great. Late Night Serial Podcast. That's what it is. Plunger, that's right. Late Night Serial Podcast. But that's a lot of fun. I love listening to you guys talk about that. Oh no, yeah, your nerves are probably shot after doing that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about Instagram. I don't like Instagram anyway. I was just tossing that out there. I prefer not using Instagram. But yeah, so that's awesome. That's great. Let's give a shout out to Past the Plunger. Welcome in. Oh, hi, I'm Brian Dunaway. I'm always hanging out with you guys anyway. A lot of you guys in the community over there at Plunger's site probably have seen me at least come in and hang out for a little bit, because I do love my good friend over there who's always playing on some real hardware, and always amazing me with the incredible finds that you get. It's always fun. I'm like, oh man, I need to be over there. I need to be over there doing the cool stuff. And but yeah, that's good that you got to beat that, finally beat the boss. And like I said, I got my Commodore 64 Ultimate Starlight Edition. If you're curious, I don't have that flex that a lot of people have said they're having. I have some flex, but I'm pushing on this pretty hard. And we've been messing around with GORF, and we've been looking at the GOS, and just kind of fart around. Oh, I love it. I love it. It is so much fun. It's FPGA, so it's got that hardware emulation thing, and so allows you to put in a couple of extra SID chips if you want to. Yeah. Oh yeah. The past Plunger, my podcast. Oh yeah, dude, I've been doing podcasting since I probably started in 2005 with Extra Life Radio. But our current podcast that we're doing, our longest running podcast, is Film Sack, where we talk about streaming movies and how those movies have held up their own streaming services, usually from anywhere from the 70s up to now, typically. But we just kind of we just get on there and talk stuff. But the one I love the most that me and Scott get to do is called the Play Retro Show. It's a little newer. It's about 200 episodes in, and we get to talk about GORF this week. Yeah, absolutely. So the Play Retro Show is what it is called, and it's me and Scott Johnson, and we talk about retro video games. We're talking about GORF at the arcade this week. It is on Spotify. Anywhere you get your podcast, you will find the Play Retro Show. Yeah, I know, Chief Chavez. It's newer. It's only got the 200 episodes. I was thinking about it recently. I was thinking about this today, actually. I was like, I posted something on Facebook, and I was like, how people like to tear you down sometimes on social media, and they're always looking for a reason to tear you down. And I'm like, have I ever said anything stupid that I regret? And I said, of course I've said stupid things that I regret. I've recorded it myself doing at least 1 to 2 podcasts, which is somewhere between 3 to 4 hours at least every single week since at least 2008. So I'm like, yes, I've definitely said something stupid. There's no question about it. And have I said things I regret? I absolutely have, and I've grown for that, and I'm a better person. So there you go. Yeah, it's just math, man. I mean, anybody, if they talk that much and say stuff and give their opinion that often, is going to say some really stupid crap. 2021 is pretty good, my friend. Yeah. That's we went back to right after when the pandemic. That's going to give you some good content to listen to, Past the Plunger. Chris, can I call you? It's Chris, right? So I always call you Past the Plunger, but yeah, I feel like we're a little close to that, right? It's Chris, right? We've talked about that before. Hope I'm not giving away any secrets. I think you told me before that I could call you by your first name. If you say no, then I'll bring that back. So anyway, yeah. So Yeah, but 2020, like I said, it's over a couple hundred episodes. We do it once a week. Yeah, Houdini 7 says, his real name is Bob, but call him Chris. He's too nice. That's the problem with Bob. He's too nice. He'll let you call him anything, even Chris. Well, that's how I feel, TV Travis, because I feel like people are not static things. And you may say something and it may hang out there forever, but that doesn't mean that that's who you are. I change every decade. If when I listen to stuff I said 2 decades ago, I'm like, who's this idiot? He doesn't know anything. But yeah, so yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I think we should look at people in that way. It's like people are capable of change. Will they change? And if they have, should we take that in consideration when we interact with them? Is kind of what I usually think. And sometimes my friends get mad at me because they say, "Oh, you give everybody the benefit of the doubt. You just give everybody the benefit." And I'm like, I do that for me, man. I give people the doubt because it's too much on me to not. If I have to be mad at people, if I look at them and go, "Oh, they're the worst. They're the absolute," that's hard on me. But yeah, TV Travis says a look back at old sketch comedy show I did with friends, and some of that is yikes. Yeah. Pass, Chris. Have fun. Thank you so much. Yeah, it is super late there. You're already on your Wednesday, I'm sure. So have fun. Thanks for the raid. Thanks for the guys and gals coming in from Past the Plungers feed community. So I know you guys are all close and tight as well, and so we appreciate it. Thanks, guys, and do follow Past the Plunger Chris if you enjoy someone who is pretty hilarious and watches Gladiator occasionally, which is amazing because I only ever saw American Gladiator, which is in the U.S. But yeah, absolutely. Discordia, are you out as well, or is that before take? Or are you guys just saying night to Chris? Because I appreciate you either way. All right, where was we at? Thank you guys for letting me run my mouth too. I'm sure I'll look back in a decade and think, oh, no, I'm not leaving. I'm still here. Past the Plunge just raided in. We gotta hang out with our other friends here for a minute before we do that. And I've been, like I said, we've been trying to figure out. Let's go back and play GORF for a minute. We don't want to forget GORF, right? We don't want to forget GORF here. We've got to do a podcast for that tomorrow. I'm having a lot of fun with this. But let's just play one more time and to make sure we haven't forgotten anything. But yeah, we're going to do more of this paint stuff. And probably, you may not know this, but I also produce music sometimes, right? So maybe we'll produce a little bit of music. And I got a SoundCloud account. It's not great. I'm not good at it. But I do have a Launchpad Pro that's like a pad. I think it's got 16 pad keys, and it allows me to make use of what I learned when I was learning the piano and music theory and such. So I could, make a little sound bed. I'm really good at producing. I'm not very good at performing. So I recognize counts and I recognize, what I'm wanting mood wise. And kind of more like how John Carpenter makes music. If you don't know who that is, filmmaker, lots of times was like, I'm trying to stay on the cheaper side here, and I had the abilities to create, mood music, and so that's what he does. So I can kind of do a little bit of music production. I can lay down a couple little, few simple chords and stuff, but. Yeah, Tonda. Yeah, used to record and produce some music. Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, Escape from New York is great. I have that actually on VHS over there. Yeah, get a sec. I have a keyboard as well that does MIDI, and I'm able to bring that into the system and everything. So, Discordia says, if you're ever in the DCR, I'll happily give you my Novation MIDI keyboard I never use. Oh, that's nice. I do like Novation, and that Launchpad Pro is a Novation. So yeah, absolutely. Sometimes I'm in the DCR. Maybe we'll see what happens. I love Carpenter's music. For mood, he's so good. But yeah, so we got all the pieces. We got all the pieces for making us a game a retro game on the Commodore 64. So we just got to put it all together. Years and years of modern programming, scripting, coding. I've done plenty of that. So now I just got to put it all together. I've been doing years of studying on how 8-bit computers work. And I think it's time to put it all to good use. Art, music, programming, storytelling. I've been working on that for years as well. Slowly getting there. Now we just got to execute. It's no problem. It's easy. But yeah, so let's get to GORF. Let's play some video games. Let's get inspired. Let's get inspired by Midway's classic game, GORF, on our Commodore 64. Yeah, Fortico says, you have all the time in the world. Nothing but time, baby. I mean, I don't have a full-time day job. I don't have family, friends in real life. I don't have none of that stuff. I don't have none of that stuff to hold me down, hold me back. Todd Ghost says, I finished up Pluribus. I put all the creative stuff into perspective. Oh, very good. It puts all the creative stuff into perspective. Okay. I got to watch that. A launch key, 49 MK3. I think have I seen that one? I've definitely looked at some of their boards. Actually, I found a really cool thing at a thrift store not long ago, and I regret not getting it. It's like an old school kind of it's like a I don't know what the instrument is called, but it had exposed metal keys essentially, and you could do the thing with the little TV's Travis, thanks man. Head to bed. Talking about this podcast. Also, if you want to check out, you haven't seen TV's Travis podcast, check that out as well. So we've got Past the Plunger, the Serial podcast. You've got the Play Retro Show, and you've got you haven't seen with Travis, and there may be even more in this community because we have a bunch of podcasting fools. All right, let's see. Yep, sleep well, TV's Travis. All right, let's take a look here. We were playing GORF. I forgot what I was doing. What was I doing again? I was playing some GORF. Sorry, guys. We're gonna do it in the NTSC. I know you guys over the pond maybe want to see some PAL action, but we're gonna do some NTSC. Let's do this D64. Sleep well, TV's Travis. Searching for the stars, loading cyan blue. Oh, I got a little thing in there. What is that? Oh, I see what that is. Burp, burp. Oh, do we have to get our bezel back up? No, we're not playing the arcade version. Yeah, new Commodore 64 song. We need to do that as well. We got a Ode to 64, right? Gotta have that. Look, I ain't gonna cheat. I ain't gotta cheat. I'm a Gorfian champ. I just noticed that GORF up there is overlaying the score. That's actually pretty cool and impressive. Ode to the 64. Let's sing it. Space Cadet. We'll have to make our own insults because we do not have the voice modulator that you could use. I didn't even know that was a thing. I was trying to look it up. I knew there was some software level voice stuff that I had heard on the Commodore 64, but I didn't know there was a voice synthesis cart. I guess it's really a module because it plugs into your cart port. But you could plug other carts into it. So you could buy the Commodore 64 GORF cart right? And you would plug that into your cart slot on your Commodore 64. But then you could plug the GORF cart. Did I say that right? So you get the voice synthesis, and you would plug that into your cart port. Your cart port. And then you would plug the GORF cart into that, and then you would get the sound synthesis. Oh, yeah, I can see. Is that what you guys think? It sounds like the Queen stuff. I can see that. Yeah, I'm just making up words now, Shay. Just making them up. Cartport. That doesn't sound right because I'm so used to saying carport. In your cartport. In your sound synthesis. I knew it. So I've done that a lot of times in the Commodore 64 version. Is shooting the tip of the ship. Now I'm rhyming. Can you destroy the ship that way in the arcade version? Because I thought you had to shoot the reactor. As I think the actual instructions you have to shoot the reactor. But I found that I can shoot just the tip. Avian, I'm bored. What new plaything do you have for me? Oh, that's a great question. Let's see. I went to the thrift store today that I typically go to, which is the Pathway House locally, and it's a thrift store that benefits those who are recovering, right? Like from addiction, and I think mostly deals with housing and that kind of stuff. I'm not 100% sure on that. I probably need to know more, but I do know that I like all the people there, and it makes me feel good to give my money to them, because Goodwill does some things locally, job connections and stuff, and that's cool. But it always feels a little more corporate. But anyway, so that's a good question. What do I have new to play with? Well, last week I think we talked about our Video Now device, that little mini disc player that you would have during the 90s. And then today I saw a Ghostbusters Monopoly game. Still, I don't know if it's new in the box or if it's well taken care of in the box. But it had a little button you could press, and it played the Ghostbusters theme from outside the box. Yeah, I debated on getting that. I was like, I don't know. What am I going to do with that? Who's nighty-nighting? The Wraith. Have a good sleep, my friend. But, yeah. I think it'd be cool to have, but I think I also have... I think I got the Mario Kart Monopoly. I have the Mario Kart Monopoly as well, and I don't think I've ever taken it out of the box. I have several Monopoly games, and I'm like, am I just gonna store this? Captain Kipper bought a TI 84 Plus and a TI 89 today. That is awesome. But I saw a bunch of PlayStation games they had, but they were like, they were loose disc, and it went like $5 a piece, and it wasn't nothing like that I had to have. I'm trying to think what else was there. Oh, there was one really cool thing that absolutely no use for. None whatsoever. It was an older LCD screen, but it was surrounded by this. It looked like a basketball, so it was like plastic molded and colored like a basketball, and it had like the LCD right in the center. It was probably a 20 27-inch or something like that. So it was pretty big. It looked neat, but I was like, ooh, I'm not gonna do that. No Street Fighter 2, no Street Fighter 2 movie, the game, the movie, none of that. Fort Tank Girl says, why is that ship like a crutch sideways? It's a good question. It's a good question. Oh, he got me. I did. Oh, so did. Maybe it says, I do have to ask, why do I go down so many rabbit holes from this stream? Because you know, I like the rabbit holes. I like digging deep. I like digging deep. And speaking of digging deep, we are at 3 hours and 7 minutes in on this stream, and it is not past 9:30, and it is past my bedtime. And I've had a blast with you guys. It has been so much fun tonight. And we'll be back tomorrow night, me and Scott, and we'll be talking all about GORF at the arcade, and that's going to be on Frog Pants. And so if you, what is it on Twitch? What is his, is it just Twitch, Frog Pants? Arctaurin, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you to Pass the Plunger. Once again, I do say, go follow Chris, Pass the Plunger, on Twitch. He's a great streamer. He streams sometimes around the time I stream, and so he's a nice little stagger between me and him on the weekdays. Between that girl Joey, Pass the Plunger, and me, we kind of stream kind of close to each other, but not, we overlap. And I love watching both of those guys play retro games and stuff. And they use real hardware and everything like I do as well. And of course, Tondagosa, me and Tondagosa seem to cross streams, which is very dangerous. Not supposed to do on the weekends. We cross streams lots of times, so follow Tonda. Oh no, it's fine. Captain Kipper, sorry I missed the show, but Tuesday night is game night with the guys. Absolutely. Shay says this has been yet another fun distraction from work. Thank you. Oh no, thank you, Shay. And I hope the flooding is under control soon. I think you said that's what you had, some flooding. It is Frog Pants, Discordia Dog says. So on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern time, me and Scott get together and we share everything we've learned that week. And I am still curious. Someone asked me earlier about the mission levels, and there's 5 at the arcade, but there's only 4, I thought, at the home. And so I don't understand how they're calculating them. So let's see when it runs through this little screen again. We'll see if it... Okay, Astro Battles is 1. But thank you for the follow, Actaurin. That's 2. Christy3611. Tip Via. Thank you to a longtime friend reaching a 10 stream streak, Avian, who's going down some rabbit holes. Bezos wants you to know I had this streak. Zoe gifted out a sub earlier, so thank you for that. And I believe Discordia gave out 5 community subs earlier when Mac rated on us earlier. So thank you guys so much for that. And thank you for Sock and Cow. Sock and Cow, I believe that's what it said. Gave us a follow, so thank you for that earlier as well. And telling us how to pronounce your name. That was good. It says Mission 4 here. But then I thought I saw a Mission 5 pop up as well. Am I crazy? Maybe it's just showing on the demo. Is that the deal? Yeah, and this goes back to 0. So weird. So when you're playing the game, it seems like it says one thing, but then in the demo screen, it says something else. That is so weird. Hey, look, Atari Beer Pong is playing, and you know what? Might I recommend that you follow Atari Beer Pong and Jammy Whammy as well? But we're gonna raid in on Atari Beer Pong. Oh, let's see. I think, unless, are they doing something? Are they going somewhere? Final Countdown. So doing some Ultima Underworld. I'm not sure what he's doing. Hopefully he's not leaving anywhere. So let's do that. We're going to raid in on Atari Beer Pong, who's been hanging out with us a good bit lately. We appreciate that. Oh, it's been so much fun, Discordia. Hope you enjoyed that Indian food. Thank you, Tonda. Thank you, Tunda. Tunda. Tunda the Barbarian. Can I start calling you that? Tunda the Barbarian. Come on, let me. Don't let me do nothing. All right, guys, here we go. Let's have fun. Tunda the Barbarian.